Formula One sits at the pinnacle of motorsports, defined by speed, glamour, and precision. But the reality of the sport is far harder to grasp. It starts with a young kid driving go-karts, dreaming of Formula One, but nothing prepares you for what Formula One truly demands.
But the speed is the main thing. F3 to F2, and you go 4 or 5 seconds quicker. You go to F1, it's like 15, 20 seconds faster.
The reality of how few ever make it creates immense pressure. Out of billions of people, only a handful will ever race an F1 car. Liam Lawson is one of those people. Sometimes opportunities don't come with warning, just the call up to drive and the expectation that you're ready to perform.
I wonder if Ricciardo's tried to take the line and found that's exactly where Piastri is.
Are you okay? You okay?
So I walked and I found helmet, and he just looked at me and he's like, "You ready?" I was like, "Yep," and that was it.
What we've also learned in the last few minutes is that Liam Lawson will replace him.
When you drive these cars, the commitment level is so high. You know, you're turning into a corner at 300 plus, flat out, and not even lifting.
It may be one driver in the car, but everything behind it is built by thousands of people, engineers, mechanics, team personnel, all invested in delivering results.
I could feel intensity within the entire team. Thousands of people. You know, these guys who go to work every single day to make this car go as fast as you can. And I'm lucky enough to get to drive one of those cars.
And when that opportunity comes, you're tested, measured immediately, and judged without emotion. Liam Lawson had to meet the standard and earn the right to continue competing at the pinnacle of motorsport. You got tested, dude.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
held to the flame. That's the job. Gypsy Tales, welcome Liam Lawson to the podcast.
I met a gypsy.
Liam Lawson, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Just like that,
Just like that.
we've started.
It's very, it's very sudden. I haven't really done too many of these, to be fair.
You did
So-
one last year though, blew up right before
What
with
did
the pit stop guys. Right as you announced your Red Bull thing.
Yeah, I did. You're right. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, that's right. That's probably the last one I've done, though, to be honest.
And a fair
So-
bit's happened since then.
Dude, so much has happened since then. Yeah.
Bro, I can't even imagine. We're not going to go straight there. It's just,
Okay.
it's too much. It's too much.
To go
straight
dive
up.
straight in, yeah.
Maybe something a bit lighter to start.
Yeah.
Have you seen the news,
No?
Griff?
Oh, dude, Hannah's been talking about this today. Like, literally today, she was like, Liam, Kim Kardashian and Lewis Hamilton are dating now.
What?
Is it official?
I don't know.
Because
Well,
I saw it yesterday and I was like, nah.
Kim Kardashian and F1 star Lewis Hamilton's secret dating. Spend
Yeah, but is it just
romantic-
is it rumors or is it legit?
100% it's rumors. Who
always-
knows? What does that do for F1 though? As if F1 wasn't big enough.
It's great for the sport, to be fair.
Great for the sport.
Great for the sport, probably. I think so. I mean, the sport has grown so much in the last few years. I think it's. I don't know how it can be bad for the sport.
Crazy though, dude.
It is, yeah. But again, like if it's legit, that's great. I'm stoked for them. But so many things come out that are just not
Oh,
that are not like yeah.
yeah. That's one
It's like I
thing.
feel like it's 90%
Yes.
what you read, maybe even more.
Yes.
Because I get people texting me. I mean,
Oh.
It's my family. It's like sometimes my parents even like Liam, and I'm like, it's not true. Just honestly,
whatever you
stop
read.
reading it. It's not true.
Yeah. Dude, I learnt that when Danny was going through everything because I would
Yeah.
know the story,
From
the
him,
real
yeah,
story,
yeah.
and then you would see
The media.
everything, every YouTube video, every headline, so much of it is just complete bullshit.
It's
like not even close.
No, not even, dude. It's crazy how many. The one for me that made me that opened my eyes to it the most was I did an interview a few years ago, and it was with I think it was with Red Flags. Actually, those guys, the podcast.
I rate those guys.
Yeah, but it was like a real short one. We were just doing. It was like I don't think we did a full podcast, but we sat down a few years ago, and I was like had a guitar in my hand, and we were like playing songs and like singing together, and they asked me about the New Zealand national anthem and the McLaren team playing the British national anthem. So I was like in like the most joking way possible was like, they should be playing the New Zealand national anthem because history is from New Zealand. Bruce McLaren started McLaren. And like the next day, the headlines, Lawson outraged by national anthem from McLaren. I was like
Seething.
I was like, dude, literally like, I think I was laughing when I said it, like it was the most. So, and then I was like, and it was before, I don't think I was full-time. No, I wasn't full-time F1. So like, I was like, damn, I just have to be really careful what I say because things just get completely taken out of context.
I just find it wild how inaccurate so much is.
I feel like, how is it allowed to be?
Yeah, and the traction that it gets. I mean, we're in the moto world, a lot of times where there's smoke, there's fire,
Yeah.
But I just guess F1's gotten so big. There's people making like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars off just complete nonsense.
Yeah.
That's the scale that the sport's at.
I just can't believe. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it should be illegal. Just like I feel like you got to have evidence before you just go and write a report out there about something that is because it like affects people. Like we obviously have been in it long enough, or maybe I'm new at F1, but I feel like we all have a pretty good understanding coming into it that that's the side of media now. You have to deal with it. You have to learn to deal with it. But I feel like if you're not careful or if you're not used to it, it can really affect people because it's so false and they're just writing stuff about you that is completely inaccurate. And if you're not used to it, it's so easy to bite onto it and be like, that's not true.
But I can't help, even though when you've got context of what it is and you've been through it enough and you're like, okay, whatever, it would still shape your perspective of the sport. And that's the thing that sucks.
Yeah.
Because you kind of just turn salty and off it. And it's just like, nah.
I know.
So even though you get better at dealing with it, it does still warp your perspective. And I feel like those things can like leave a mark in a sense.
Yeah, I think so.
But that would be massive. I mean, look at what Taylor Swift did for the NFL.
Even when there was rumors that she was with Fernando a
That's
couple of years ago.
Right.
And that got so much traction, dude.
Yeah.
Like it was to the point where the commentators are like putting like one-liners into their commentary, bro, about it. It was like...
Did you ever talk to him about that?
No, I never asked. And to be fair, my relationship with Fernando started...
It's rough.
It's better now. It just started rough. It was Austin and I pissed him off. I didn't mean to. I was just trying to race. But yeah. So I didn't feel like that was probably the time to ask him because it was around that time, to be fair. So.
Dude, imagine that. Clean him out and then be like,
hey, man.
So the Taylor thing?
Is that legit?
I was trying to get close to you.
Yeah, I was just trying to get a conversation started.
Oh.
But it is. Yeah, it's so much of it. But maybe this seems pretty real now because I saw it yesterday and it was rumors, but this seems like it's legit now.
So I got sucked in. I read the story. They basically flew into this super exclusive hotel and met, and I guess they rented out the entire spa or some shit.
Nice.
So hey,
yeah,
go Louis.
Yeah,
it's definitely like, you know what, my level of respect for Kim Kardashian went up when she finished her law degree. I don't know whether she passed the bar yet. I'm looking at Griff like you won't know that. Sorry, bro. Sorry to even put you in that position. But she trained to be a lawyer. She did school. And then she is like a massive advocate for people who are falsely imprisoned.
Really?
Yeah.
To be fair,
no idea.
But I'm also really I really don't read up on much. I don't to the point where, and it's mainly because of F1. When I came into F1 and the national anthem thing, it's probably the starter of it. But probably Mexico was obviously where I had my incident with Checo. I learned a lot from that day because I came in not knowing, or maybe I was naive not to think that it would get so much publicity. It was obviously an in-the-moment thing, but I came in and my phone was just, at that point I don't even think I'd muted Instagram notifications. So my phone was going to break because it was just insane. And I was like, what is going on right now? I couldn't wrap my head around that this many people were watching. And so from that moment, I really just stopped reading into anything. Like I actually deleted all social media channels off apps off my phone for quite a long time. Yeah, like and then
Are you still there?
I re-downloaded a couple, but I've basically kept it so everything F1 racing, anything racing related or like sport related is just muted and I can't see anything.
Yeah.
So it's just friends, like family. It's stuff that I what I want to see on social media. So which is the best thing. So I'm kind of glad in a way that like I shouldn't have done what I did, but I'm glad that that all happened because it taught me very quickly, whoa, this is
like a very quick lesson.
Yeah. And from that day on, I just haven't been on social. So I really like everyone's telling me stuff, man. I have no idea. But like even this was Hannah. Like she told me about this. I had no idea.
So that's what I was about to say, right? So I deleted Instagram off my phone, the app, and now I just do it through the browser when I have to send messages, do what I got to do.
Yeah.
But I was like, after that day, I'm like, hard out.
Yeah.
And my wife did the same shit.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm better for it.
It's so much better. So much better. It can be such a toxic place. I feel for people. I feel like I also left school when I was young, but I feel like I scraped through the sort of age maybe where social media was big. Like in New Zealand, at least it was Facebook was probably the main one. Instagram was pretty new.
Well, you only got the internet in like 1999 or something, or 20.
Yeah,
was
New
it
Zealand,
2012
you mean,
when New Zealand got the internet?
Yeah, I feel like we really are behind in some ways, but
which is great.
It's so good because I like that now. Like bullying in school is something that you can't escape when you go home, because of social media. So, and it wasn't really that bad for me in school, but I feel like now, like I have younger siblings and I just, know
How
people
old are
that
they?
My youngest she's 18 or 19 now.
Yeah. So she's in the thick of it.
Yeah. Maybe she just turned 20. Did Leah just turn 20? But she like, a couple of years ago through high school was just, that's something that is, it's just so different from what I feel like I just got through it maybe, and, but also because I left quite young.
Yeah.
So now it's just, it's pretty sad.
It's funny though, because the in real life bullying is like probably the bullying that should happen. But then the social media online thing is where it definitely shouldn't happen because it's so easy to bully someone online and it's actually quite hard to bully a person in person. It's got to be warranted or you've got to like be pretty committed. But now you just go online and you can make people's lives hell, dude.
99% of the time, what people would say online would never have the balls to say it to somebody's face.
No.
And it's the same in our sport, like when we're dealing with it, obviously I don't read it now, but it's that, that kind of thing, the amount of negativity around drivers or people that, teams that, fans don't like. And just the amount of negative comments that get put out there, like, and crazy things that are being said, like you can't even, like, you would never even say that in person, let alone have the balls to even go up to somebody to do that. But to say some of the like crazy things that these guys come up with, it's way too easy,
Dude, Doohan went through it at the start of the year.
I know.
Even when they started talking about the Franco Colapinto switch, all of his Instagram comments were just Argentinian flags.
Yep.
So insane and unhinged.
It's crazy
that you have to deal with that level of. But I mean, it's like good that people care, but that's too much.
Way too much.
Caring. You know what I mean? When it really
Maybe support your
affects.
driver, but don't go on the guy that you're not supporting and just blow up his comment section with negativity because, I mean, he's similar to me. We come from the same part of the world, I guess, and I mean, Australia's bigger than New Zealand, but still, the sort of population compared to
everywhere else.
Yeah, it's just you're never gonna have. It's always gonna be like that, and that's what I had with obviously with Mexico, and what he's had with Argentina.
So I actually got scammed recently on a credit card, which was a nightmare to deal with. A dude in the UK bought $3,000 of Lego, believe it or not, and some Nando's. So I had to cancel the card, I had to wait for a new one, I had to dispute the charges, the whole deal. And this experience, this was the second time it happened to me. And it really just made me realize how important proper security is when it comes to anything to do with your money. And this is why I started using Cash App, which was awesome when they reached out and decided to help us out on the podcast. Your security deserves to be a priority, and Cash App treats it that way. With Security Lock, Cash App requires a successful Face ID or biometric authentication to access your account. It's like your money is protected by your own personal bodyguard, even if your phone is lost or stolen. Plus, if you're about to send money to someone new and Cash App notices something looks a bit off or that you might be falling for a scam, it will send you a warning before the money is sent to confirm that everything looks right. Turn on Security Lock in your Cash App settings today and pay attention to scam warnings to keep your money safe. Learn more at cash.app/security. For a limited time, new Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use code SECURE10 in their profile at sign up and send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Terms apply. Cash App is a financial service platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank. Member FDIC. Discounts and promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. Can you pull up that? I don't remember that incident. What happened? What year was it? 23 or 24?
24.
24 Mexico City.
24 Mexico. I haven't seen this for a while.
Oh, I can't. I mean, I'll remember it, I'm sure, as soon as I see it. But yeah, rough little trot. Bro, Mexico's just the most hectic place to do that too.
Go, if you put my name in, it'll because they it's not something they would have put in the.
Oh, they wouldn't have put it in the actual.
On the broadcast, yeah.
That's
the thing. I came in. No, this is when we fought on track.
Yeah. God, there's just so many storylines, eh?
Oh man, I honestly completely this feels like so long ago as well.
And it's not.
It's not really.
It's a year.
It's a year and a bit.
Yeah, just over a year ago. That car looked so good, didn't it? The V-carb car.
The old one? Yeah, it did.
Fast forward, where are we at?
So this is, now is where he's like.
So he's running it in. And you're like, nah, bro.
I was like, nah, bro.
That's not how this works.
I thought, the thing is, what was really hard was, at that time I was fighting for trying to get that Red Bull seat, obviously.
Yeah.
So I'm like.
What was it?
In the moment, I'm trying to work out, I'm trying to think, what do they want from me? Do they want me to let him go, or do they want me to me to show that, I'm like worthy of it? It was a really tricky. Obviously, the goal was not to end up in a crash or to make contact and cause damage. But I just didn't. I actually thought I was doing the right thing at the time until afterwards that it was so clear that it was just the wrong thing to do. So again, something I learned from. But yeah, we had the contact, and then later on, I think if you play now,
play again
within the way the rules are. Yeah, this is it here. So
yeah.
I've come back by him later on. Yeah.
Did you just come together again?
Nah, that was it.
That was it?
That was it. Just drove by him and gave him a wave.
It's funny though, because that's a legitimate predicament that you find yourself in, right? Because and I'm sure not only are you trying to figure out the right thing to do with the Red Bull as an umbrella, but then you've got helmet and then you've got Horner. Yeah. So there's almost like two parts of Red Bull.
I'm working at, Helmet likes a racer. And I'm like, that's also how, when I got my Red Bull contract, was from an overtake. It was from a big overtake I did in New Zealand, in the Toyota Racing Series. And you can, I haven't seen it for a while, but you could probably pull it up. It was ages ago. It was 2019, and I basically just had this big overtake, and
Helmet loved it.
He loved it, yeah. And so it's always been the racer thing. So I was like, okay, if you go down a little bit. Toyota Racing Series. I like how you have the screen here for this. This is sick, yeah. And then go down. Down to down. It's that. Wait. It's that one in like above that. It's that there, but I don't know. If you click on that, I think this will be a.
So you were still just racing in NZ at this time, or were you in Europe as well?
So this is that series that runs over January, 5 weeks in a row. So this is so basically Marcus Armstrong is the red car. I'm in the car behind him. It was sick because we're both New Zealanders, and we were basically we were fighting for the championship. And it was this overtake.
Round the outside
It's like a really long. It was a long pass. It took like 3 corners that we carried on.
Oh, dude! Concrete wall to the left, wheel to wheel.
It was sick,
dude.
And then just chopped him, and like,
go back, watch the rear as you're going through the bus stop there.
Oh yeah, it was very close to losing it.
That is look at that.
Yeah.
You're right.
Dude, at that age though, I don't even think
plums.
Just pure feel. Yeah, you just don't even care, man. Like it was. And what's crazy is that series, when I did that series, so we'd like raised enough funds to go to Europe for a year, and I have had like an amazing support team since I was young. Some amazing people from New Zealand that have basically helped me just to see a New Zealand driver get into Formula One. These guys have done it only to help me, and with no self-interest. And so we'd raised enough money to go to Europe for a year, but the goal was, like, our actual plan was, I remember, was we get enough money, we go to Europe, and we try and get picked up by a junior team, because that's the only way we're ever going to get a shot at F1. There's no way we can pay through F3, F2, all the way to F1. So I did F4 in Germany in 2018, and finished second, but it was a good year. Like, it was a really good year, but it wasn't enough to pull in any, F1 teams. Yeah. And then the series runs over 5 weeks in New Zealand. So it's basically starts in January, finishes first week of February. And it's a full championship. And like Lando's done it, Stroll's done it. All these guys have like come over the years and done it. And you get amazing grids. So like in this is me, Marcus, Lucas Auer, who was a Red Bull driver at the time, was in it. Like there was quite a few, and all from different championships. You get guys from DTM, from F2, from F3, from like even this year, the WRC, that like the multi-champion, the young guy, I can't say his last name, so I'm not going to attempt it. But he's doing it. Like it's.
So it's an awesome proving ground.
Dude, it's because it runs over 5 weeks in January, and nothing really else in the rest of the world is running because it's winter time through the rest of the world. So now there's a couple of others that run, but like especially when I did it was sort of in its prime, and like it basically what was really cool was that in New Zealand, and I did this basically as like a last resort. We need to do this. I had no plan to race in 2019 after this. This is January. I had no money to go to F3 or do anything else. We didn't actually know what we were going to do. So it was like, let's do this, and then hopefully something comes out of it. And this was first weekend, basically the first race of the weekend or third race of the weekend. You do 3 each weekend, and this was the final race, which is like the main race. And Monday afterwards, we had a call from Red Bull for a contract. It was which is insane, like.
Did you think it was possible off the back of this series?
I don't know. I remember it's more that when I was young, I remember just not. I don't know. I always just thought somehow it would just happen. Like super naive, like super like I don't know. And even like when I started go-karts, I was young, and there's a lot, like what I wish I could change is there's so much negativity in New Zealand. I'm guessing Australia is similar, but if you, like I go to a go-kart track now and sort of, over Christmas time when I'm home, and kids will, want a photo or a signature or something like that. And I ask them, what do you want to race? And that, so much of the time the response I get is like, oh, I'd love to, like I want to be an F1 driver like you, but it's obviously too hard, or like I would want to do F1, but it's impossible, or something like this because my dad told me. And I'm like, you're like 7 years old. You can do whatever you want, man. You can't like to be saying at 7 years old, this is impossible, or like it's just the wrong like mentality to have. It's like just I guess taught like that now. And when I was young, it was the same. But for whatever reason, I just didn't care. I'm really lucky that my parents, they were never like my dad never raced, but he worked extremely hard, like one of the most hardworking people I know, and taught me that work ethic. But also just said, if you want to do something, if you put your mind to something, you can do it. And so I would get all this sort of and like kids that I was friends with growing up together, they would you sort of get to a certain age, maybe 11, 12 years old, start to go into circuit racing, car racing, and they just sort of, that belief would fade off because it's like a thing in New Zealand that you just can't do it. But for whatever reason, I always just thought I could, or never thought I couldn't kind of thing. Like I just always thought somehow it would. And so luckily that belief stayed there long enough for something like this to happen. And just, some amazing people that helped get behind me.
It sounds kooky to say, but you definitely, like, the future is just this weird thing. The future's a mirage that's kind of in your head, right?
Yeah.
And you can just kind of keep believing in it.
Yeah.
And the future where you don't get to F1, that's also a mirage that ends up in your head.
Yeah.
It's a very weird thing. And, it's like literally one of the conversations that I had with my wife when we first met, where I was like, there's something here. Because she said, like, there's a whole universe in my head of how my life looks.
Yeah.
I just need to make it happen.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, that's the whole, that's the meat and the potatoes. And it's like some people have this kind of insane, stubborn, obnoxious belief in themselves, or maybe not even belief, but a lack of doubt.
It's
like
the
you
lack
said.
of doubt, I think.
And you can kind of just keep going.
Running with it, yeah.
And it can happen,
100%.
but it's very, very rare. There's not a lot of people that have that level of dogged determination to end up being the person that they thought they could be.
I think that's the thing, and that's what I realized, or like realize more now. But it comes, what I really don't like is it comes from what's being taught into kids now, but from guys that, whether it's their parents or whoever it is, you should be teaching your kids that at that age, if you have a dream, you can absolutely, you work hard enough, you can do it. You want to be an astronaut, whatever you want to do, you can do it. But to have 7-year-olds tell me that they can't do something already because it's too hard or too expensive is so disappointing. I'm like, dude, that's so not true, man. Like, if you want to do it.
But there's also a level of I don't know how to say it, but it's like you're kind of you're giving yourself an out for what kind of should happen, right? So it's like a built-in, you're already got a safe place to land when you start by saying, but it's probably
That's
never going to happen.
Yeah,
and people are like, yep, that's fine.
It's the same with, and maybe this is wrong advice, but it's something I always had was like, when I was started high school and was like around this time, like when I was first going to Europe and I was working out whether I was going to do homeschool or not, because I realized I was going to move overseas, and it was like, Liam, you should probably do school while you're away. And it was always, you got to have a backup plan. What's your backup plan? Like, so many people asked me, what was your backup plan? And I would just make some shit up, man, because I never believed anything I was saying. Like, maybe I'll just work in motorsport or something like this, but there was no part of me that believed in what I was saying. It was just to like make the conversation happen or make that person that asked me that question. Because I think if you're pushing for something that's obviously very extreme, it takes everything, like absolutely everything, not just all the work, but all of your mental belief. If any part of your mind is thinking about what you can fall back on, honestly, you have no chance. It takes everything you have. And like for me, I got super lucky that I had so many people that believed in me, because obviously without them I wouldn't have been able to do it. But I was also lucky that they installed that belief in me as well. Like, I met a lot of these guys when I was very, very young, and I was still growing up. But it was the same. The key people that I trusted, my parents and the people that were close to me, it was all, if you want to do it, you can do it. It's, you don't let anybody else tell you that you can't, or so yeah.
And so what were you driving with this day? Like, so you fast forward Sunday and then Monday you get the call. So
I tell you what I was driving, because I remember. So this series ran in New. It was big, like 3-4 years before this Lando was there, and I was in Formula First, like Formula V, which is like first entry level car of racing in New Zealand. Which in New Zealand you can race really young. So I was like 13 when I was racing on these tracks in an entry level car, and this was like Formula One to me, because we had these really cool cars that were like, nearly as quick as an F3 car. It was such a big series that in New Zealand, when I'd never even left New Zealand, so it was like Formula One to me.
Eh?
So I'd just been so excited to one day race in this series. Like I even went and like worked for Toyota and did stuff for Toyota over the years, and like just to be involved and be close to it, and so like I finally 2019, do the season in Europe. The year before this, I was trying to get a dispensation for my age so I could race in it, but I wasn't allowed, and I was so disappointed. Looking back, it was the best thing ever, because I needed a year like to go up against these guys after racing Formula Ford. No chance. So I went to Europe, did that season in F4, came home and finally got to do it. So I just remember this weekend, I wasn't even thinking about anything career-wise, going into the year-wise. Like there was actually no pressure. I was just so excited to be racing. I was like, this feels like F1 to me. I'm making a seat molded to me. I've got like, it was so F1 level to me at that time that's all I was. Like I remember making fun, but he would have thought I was such a dickhead. But I remember making fun of Marcus because he had 2 helmets. And I was never thinking like, I was like, he's like, yeah, but for one's for the rain, if it's obviously like for the clear visor. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? Like I've got 1 helmet. How can you have 2 helmets? Like that's such a stupid thing. In Formula One, we have like 20 helmets a year, like it's just, it's ridiculous. But that's like the sort of level I was at then. And I was just so excited to be in it. So that's at the end of the day, like if you can remove the pressure from driving, it's the same with anything. If you can get, the more enjoyment you get into it, the more relaxed, the better you drive. Like this was such a good series for me because, and it got harder it got a lot closer towards the end. Like this weekend was the best weekend over the 5 weeks in terms of performance-wise. We just smashed it this weekend. We won the first race and the last race. And it was like, but I think because I was just enjoying it so much.
Yeah.
And I think I went to the second round and it was, actually I'm in this championship, which is crazy. Probably didn't expect. No, I think I maybe believed I could do it, but
best case.
Then it became real.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm actually in this championship now. And then the pressure's there and you enjoy it less. And so that's where I was at in this race, which is why, that overtake was like that. And this, yeah. And then I knew about the Red Bull stuff as well. And it all just became very real.
Yeah. Well, I was about to say that is probably the perfect headspace to be in. It's so difficult to be at the level that you are currently with all of the spider web of factors that is going on track, off track, teams, media, the whole thing, and just to be that guy. But that's the guy that you need to be every single time.
If I could pull that guy out, man, I'd be. That's the thing. We spend so much time. We work mentally with coaches. We spend so much time working on our minds just to try and get as close to that. And I look at that now, and I'm just like, I was just there
just
so
a
easily,
kid.
just a kid, man. Just like so excited to be racing in a series. That to me, I was an F1 driver that weekend. That's what it felt like, and yeah, and then but pressure takes over, and it's something that.
Oh, bro, pressure, money, fame. Dude,
it's like
just pile it all on, and good luck there, young fella.
And the sport's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So you're like,
and more cutthroat, than ever before, dude. It's just
for the way for me, it's been insane. The way like it was never. I I guess I'd always expected to come into F1. You always like dream about coming into F1. If there's one thing from even before that age, since I was a kid, that I always dreamed about, it was becoming an F1 driver. And I expected to, get the phone call, how, I'm going to tell my parents it's going to be this really cool. And then I'm going to have, the off season to be telling people and seeing, and then go into the season. But in reality, it was Zandvoort. Daniel, breaks his wrist. 12 hours, Liam, you're driving the car tomorrow, P3. Like, I didn't even have time to call my parents. I text my dad, hey, Dad, I'm in the car tomorrow. It was so different to what I expected. And then I did those 5 races, and it was all like, I wasn't going to get a shot at F1, to be fair. Without that, I was reserve. I was racing Super Formula in Japan.
Yep.
And I got to
and doing good.
Yeah, it was a really good year, but that week, so I'd raced the second to last race of Super Formula was Motegi, and I was fighting for the championship, went for a big move with my teammate, crashed, massive crash.
Didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work. 2 guys went flying over top of me, spiraling, and it was a massive crash. And I was like, championships going to be tough now. And that day, the Monday afterwards, I was in Japan for a couple of days, and I flew straight from Japan to Zandvoort. So I was in Japan, and I remember calling, some of my team from home and being like, for the first time ever, by the way, as well, like that like lack of doubt that I had from a young age.
Yeah. At
a certain point, it starts to maybe come in, and I always tried to push it away, but it was the most it had ever been, and I was like, you know what? This might not actually happen here. Like it's coming towards the end of the season in F1. I'd been speaking. I'm at a lot of the races as a reserve, so I'm trying to speak to Helmut, to Christian. I'm pushing the barrel as much as I can, but it wasn't going to happen. And I went to Zandvoort. So I spoke to my guys, and I was like, I don't really know what to do at this point. Went to Zandvoort, and Friday actually, because I landed Thursday. So I was super jet lagged, like landed in Zandvoort, did no simulator or anything like that because I just come from racing in Japan. So it was one of those weekends where, because as a reserve, eventually you go, probably not going to happen. Like it's great to be a reserve, but like unless you're Ollie Behrman,
Danny, you need a coffee?
It's a great opportunity, but the chances of it happening is very low. And so, it got to the point where I was prioritizing Super Formula. I didn't have time for simulator in F1 because I'm, to prepare a race that 99% I'm not going to drive for. I prioritized Super Formula. So I flew to Zandvoort the day before practice, pretty much arrived. I think I might even arrive Friday morning because I went straight to the track and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go and see Helmut and just, for the first time, just actually push, because the amount of times you sit there and you just kind of, you're saying yes,
Yeah, you're kind of like dancing around it
exactly.
a little bit.
And I was just like, why don't you just give me a chance? You've invested, the amount of money from 2019, since I first became a junior, you've invested all this money in me. Just, what's it for if you're not going to give me the chance?
So had you driven any practices, FP3s, anything at that point?
I'd done some test FP1s, days. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd done...
FP1s.
Yeah, and I'd done Mexico in 2022. And maybe Spa as well, but you can't, like in FP1, it's just you can't prove you're worthy of being an F1 driver in one session in practice.
So, and you're in the FP1, and so you're kind of like driving the car to the engineers in that session, or they let you do those whatever.
When you do those FP1s, the main thing is don't crash your car. So there's a lot of like just bring it home. And you have 2 sets of tires, and it's just like, and quite often even those sets of tires, you won't even run a soft. Maybe you'll do a bit more long running or testing. They'll save another set, so you have no chance to really prove yourself. And even if you do a great job,
it's only FP1.
It's FP1. It doesn't, honestly. It's so that's all I'd done at that point, and I'm in this, I'm pushing him,
So what's the convo with Helmut that day?
I was sort of quite aggressively just saying.
So you grabbed him by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah. Pretty honestly, as close to it.
Hard.
I was like, what more can I do? What more could I have done? He's talking about you've just crashed in Super Formula. I'm like, yeah, but I've been winning more races than anybody this year. you're not going to know until you give me a chance. I just pushed him real hard until the point where he actually started to like, just be like, stop
Noted.
now. Yeah. And I was like, so, you know, I walked out and I just remember, and when I spoke to my coach that day and was like, yeah, I just tried, but you know, it's, and then 2 hours later, I'm standing in the garage, Daniel's crashed, and I see him get out of the car and I see that it's not, you know, it's not right. And I'm standing in the Red Bull Racing garage as well, because I was doing more reserve for them at that time. I was normally in the garage. So I'm standing there and I just, 10 minutes before the end of the session, I get a text from AlphaTauri at the time. They're like, you need to be at the garage and straight after the session. And I was just like, I remember the feeling, like I knew obviously exactly what it was. And I just couldn't, you know, I'm wrapping my head. I got one, you know, if this is happening, it's P3, it's one session, it's wet all weekend, it's Zandvoort. God, of all the races, you know, and I'm starting to think like of all the races. And then I'm like, no, Liam, you know, like I would have wished for this, you know, more than anything. You can't start complaining about what track, you know, I can't pick and choose what track I'm going to drive at. So and then I go and see them and it's just, it was talked about for a while and then I was in, you know. But I think that conversation, in my mind at least, maybe played a big role in that, because there's quite a few people that weren't wanting, you know, especially, and I can understand it, a rookie to jump in Zandvoort, you know, in those circumstances, you might be better off bringing in somebody who's raced.
So who else was available?
Would have been probably De Vries, because he'd started that season.
Yeah.
Because Daniel had only done a few races at that point.
Yeah.
When he came back. So it would have been De Vries or somebody, you know, I don't know, somebody who's driven an F1. But I know it was, I think, Helmut that ended up saying he's driving. Because I remember I knew that there was all this conversation happening about it after the session, and I knew that they were deciding who to pull in the car. I knew that Daniel was injured at that point. So if they're not telling me I'm driving, it's because they're deciding who's driving. So I was like, I got to find these guys. And so I walked and I found Helmut talking to Franz at the time at Red Bull, and he just looked at me and he's like, "Are you ready?" I was like, "Yep." And that was it. And then that was the end of the conversation. I walked away and I was just like, holy smokes, dude.
I want to say a massive congratulations to the team at Fist Handwear, because starting right now, Fist is proud to be officially distributed in the US through a partnership with Parts Unlimited, bringing their gloves to riders all across the US. That means it is easier than ever to get your hands in a pair, no matter where you are. I've been banging on about how amazing Fist gloves are for the last 10 years, and now it's easier than ever for US riders to get a pair of their own. If you've heard me talk about them on the podcast before, but never tried a pair of your own, now there's no excuse. No matter what you ride, motocross, BMX, road, or even on the job, Fist has a glove designed for every condition, from blazing heat to icy cold. Apart from being the best performing gloves in the world, they also have a design for any flavor, from wild prints and bold graphics to collabs with some of the world's best athletes. And it doesn't just stop at gloves. Fist has moto socks, tees, hoodies, and hats, the full kit and caboodle. I've trusted Fist for over a decade and I don't plan on changing. Do yourself a favor, join the Fist army today at fisthandwear.co or head in to your local dealer and tell them that they need to start stocking Fist. So weird, man, because you're right. To be an F1 driver, and I would say this to people that don't watch F1 or aren't into it, but it's like, okay, there's 8 billion people on Earth. 20 of them get to be a Formula One driver. It's the shittest odds.
Yeah.
There's almost like, be an astronaut. There's probably more astronauts, you know?
It's got to be. There's 20 in the world.
Can you Google how many astronauts are in the world?
There's got to be like 500.
There's got to be, dude.
Oh, what do you reckon? I reckon 500.
Oh, I'm going to say 90.
What?
Oh. Okay. No. As of late 2024 to 2025, 47 active NASA astronauts.
Okay.
So then, there'd be Russian astronauts, there'd be Chinese astronauts. Like, there would be other astronauts. But
in the world, in the world. 100 to
150. Oh, over 600 people have flown in space and around 150 currently. Okay, how many people have driven in and raced an F1 car?
Is it more than 600?
Yeah, I was going to say the number to beat is 600.
The number to beat is 600. How many people have raced in Formula One?
No, raced a F1 car
Yeah.
in Formula One. Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
800.
So actually,
Pretty close.
it's pretty close, but you have more odds to be an F1 driver. But it's low odds. And like to your point, so I've from a young age
So
had
you
had
spend
these,
your whole life dreaming about this moment.
yeah, exactly. But like those odds, I have. This is how amazing some of these people that have helped me from a young age. Like a lot of these guys, originally I was going and getting sponsorship for racing, but it got to the point where sponsorship was like to get sponsorship you're from a New Zealand company when I'm racing in Europe. There's absolutely no value in that. So I started getting investors to invest money, which is the worst investment in the world. To invest in somebody. So like to show you that these, none of these guys did it for anything other than just to help me and to try and see this amazing thing happen. So
What's the pitch? You walk in, you're like, all right, boys.
great opportunity here.
I've got this opportunity for you. No one's ever done it before. The odds are 20 in 8 billion. But trust me, bro.
We could do this.
Just hit him with the ultimate. Trust me, bro.
I got super lucky, man. Super lucky. But yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. Like I thought about it, and then that played out like that, and it's just not what I was expecting. And then it was 5 races. I got 5 races here to prove, to try and get a chance again, because I wasn't going to get a chance. Now I've been given it. This is my chance to show that I can be an F1 driver. And I do the first 2 races. Zandvoort just survived the weekend without shunting. Go to Monza and qualified 11th or 12th.
Didn't you pass Max in that race at some point?
Oh, Zandvoort. Yeah, he'd come out of the box. Technically, I was like 2 laps down, but unlapped myself a lap. He came out of the box and he was on cold inters, and I was like, come out behind him, and I just like passed him, but then immediately got blue flags and let him back by again. It was the most pointless overtake ever. But I did, and like it was something stupid. Like at that point, I'd been the only guy to like overtake him that year or something like this, or unlap myself at least. So,
that's funny.
But yeah, I did 2 races and then went to Singapore and got told right before qualifying, you won't be driving next year. You're on the bench. And I just was, went into qualify. I'm like, I got, at least 2 or 3 more races, before Daniel's back.
How was this? You had a ripper this
Singapore,
quality.
Yeah, I went into qualifying in Q3
with a real point to prove.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like almost back to that, like
that guy.
Young, exactly. Where you're just in it. I got told, okay, you're not in, no matter what. This is what's happening. Because I'm trying to argue my case, but it's like, no, Liam, it's not happening. So I go into qualifying, and I was just like, I'm just gonna absolutely send it.
Fuck y'all.
Yeah, exactly. But then it was like super. I remember being really gutted at the time because I came in. So nobody else knows this because it's not announced until Japan the next week. So I come in, and all the media is just, "This is great. This is your chance. You're gonna be in F1 next year." And I know that I'm not, but I have to sit there and be like, it's great, And I just remember it like took away from the weekend because I scored points in the race as well. And again, I remember being stoked when I crossed the line, but then straight away, but it doesn't matter. In my head, it didn't matter, but it did, like it did in the long run. And I know,
it all matters. Yeah.
And so, but then I go into the next year and it's end of 24, did those races. And then, basically go into 25, what I thought was going to be first full season. I'd gone to Red Bull at that point. And you have a plan of how the year goes, and then it just completely gets tossed upside down. Not what you expect.
It's crazy too because, like I watched JD from when he was 13, 12, and just pumping laps at the house in the kart and everything that they did, and he's moving away, and then all of a sudden you go from seeing him all the time to just birthday, Christmas, New Year kind of thing, and like. The level of focus from such a young age for him to get into F1, and it's just like this cloud that's looming over a young guy's head that kind of has a chance for their entire life from when, you're 12, 13 years old, and then you see him get that moment, and it's and then it doesn't
Dude,
end up being what it is. Like, it's just the most brutal.
Yeah, it is.
It's the most brutal thing you can put yourself through in sport, almost.
Yeah.
You know, like to want that seat, you almost shouldn't want it because you're signing yourself up for heartbreak and pain. It's such a wild
and it's
sport
everything
for
like
that reason.
You know, it is everything. And where you could say, and you know, what I felt at the time was completely brutal, getting 2 races and then getting switched. You know, I was super lucky that I kept racing.
Yeah, that
But
you
Jack,
got
it's
to go
like
back,
5 races, which is not enough anyway. But then he's not driving. You know, to go to not driving is just, that's what is unfair, honestly. And obviously we're both from the same part of the world. So I remember the first time we tested together or raced together was, in fact, I'll never forget this, was F4, that 2018 F4. And
You and Jack?
Yeah, Jack he didn't do the whole series. He just did like part of it. And I don't think he did the whole series. He just did part of it. But I remember we're testing in Hockenheim in Germany and it's wet. And I'll never forget, so he was a Red Bull junior.
Yeah.
And I wasn't. And I remember seeing Jack and just being like, again, like, that's an F1 driver. He's a Red Bull junior, you know, wearing his Red Bull suit. I thought it was the coolest thing ever, honestly. And we practice, we go out, it's wet, and I'm following him, and he loses the car in front of me. And he's facing backwards, but he's wearing a light visor. And I just remember his eyes, bro, he spun around and his eyes were just looking at me so wide. I can see it now, so clearly. And he's just rotating, doing pirouettes, and his eyes were just so wide, dude. It was so funny. But we raced each other pretty much in everything for years. Through whether we did Euro Formula together, did F3, F2, so everything. And yeah, I mean, we're texting each other both. We both came in the same year, technically.
Yeah.
So we're
because he did Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was driving at that point, but he actually got told before me that he was going to be in next year.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he knew for a long time before that.
Yeah, I remember because I remember I was texting with him and I remember I didn't know what I was doing. They hadn't told me I was driving and I was getting pretty upset about it. And I was texting him they haven't told me, I don't know, and I'm venting to him basically about my situation. and then I'm like, anyway, bro, how's things with you? And he's just they're good. He'd been told at that point, he knew, but he was being a really good guy about it. And it was just, he didn't want to, basically gas himself up to me and be like, yeah, man, I'm in. He was just yeah, it's good. And I was like, you got it? He's like, yeah.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah.
But I bet the texts after Melbourne weren't the best this year. No, so rough. I mean, to go back to Danny crashing out at Zandvoort and then you get that opportunity. Your opportunity in F1 comes at the expense of a guy that you're super close with.
Yeah.
You're flying to races with, you're hanging out with. So it's such a zero-sum game.
It is, man.
In the sense that for you to succeed, someone else has to fail.
It's the thing about the sport that is you come in replacing somebody. Every time you basically come into everyone replacing somebody. So, and especially someone like Daniel, who's was so good to me through all of this stuff. When he came back to the team as a reserve and he got the seat in the first place, and through all of that, honestly, through those races, when he was recovering, the last race I did was Qatar, and before Qatar, I didn't know. It was touch and go whether he was going to be ready or not. And rather than basically me finding out through the team that I was going to be driving or wasn't going to be driving, I'm sitting at lunch, stressing about whether I'm going to be in it. I didn't know because I'd done Japan and I had a week off and I wasn't sure if I was going to be back in or not. And I get a random FaceTime call from Daniel at a restaurant, and he's just like, "You got one more, bro. Go and send it. Have a good one." It's just so nice. And then through the next year, everything that happened. That whole week of Singapore was it sucked. Sucked for me, obviously sucked so much more for him. And through all of it, was just never said a bad word, was always just good to me through it, which, yeah. sort of shows the kind of person, obviously, that he is.
Even the last couple of years, like he didn't go to war with anyone when he could have. Like he really could have. I mean, even Singapore, like, not great the way that it was handled.
Yeah.
Put him in a shit spot, put you in a shit spot, and just at no point has he, like, to walk that high of a road
thing, man. Like,
is crazy.
I went there and I'm like, I don't know if this guy thinks I'm the worst guy ever, or I don't know how this. And straight away, he's just like, he actually spoke to me and it was like, I want you to know that there's nothing against you through this. I know that it's obviously nothing to do with you, and it's completely separate from that. So, and then since then, every time I've called for advice, the guy is completely open to talk and give advice on everything that I've asked in the last couple of years. So, it sort of shows the type of guy he is, obviously. But yeah, it's like, I hope for Jack, I just hope he gets another shot, because yeah, I mean, he deserves to, he deserves to be in F1.
4 races is just not long enough.
Nowhere near.
It's...
You look at guys who take seasons, multiple seasons to get together, to get it right. It's... Formula One is... And the other thing is, it's not even like he was doing a terrible job either. It wasn't like he was way off or something like that.
Well, especially now that we have the data.
There you go. So, this is the thing is, you come from every category before F1. You go through F2 where you're working with, your team consists of, I don't know, 30 people maybe, completes a Formula 2 team. Yeah. And then you come into F1 with thousands of people working on these 2 cars to make them go as fast as they can. And the sort of how much more advanced it is than everything else. The cars don't even compare. You don't do anything similar driving style-wise from anything before F1 to compare to F1. Probably go-karts is actually the closest thing in terms of driving. So honestly, like, it's more that nothing else is even close. F2, F3, everything like that. It's not even, you don't drive anything. None of the technique is really the same.
So what is that? Is it just that the F1 car has so much more downforce, or is it to do with power? What is it?
It's both, but it's mainly the downforce is the speed that you can carry. It's so much faster. The sort of response from the car, everything is designed to be as quick and as smooth, as nice as possible. So to be honest, in many cases, it's actually easier to drive around and because it's so nice. Everything's just so nicely designed and works well. And although the cars the last couple of years have been very stiff, it's still, it's still designed to the highest level compared to everything else before that. But the speed is the main thing. You go from F3 to F2 and you go, I don't know, like lap time wise, maybe 4 or 5 seconds quicker. It might not even be that. On some tracks.
So much difference.
And then F1, you go to F1, it's like 15, 20 seconds faster.
Bro.
And like straight line speed wise, F2's still doing over 300 kilometers an hour. So F1's faster, but in a straight line, it's not like you're doing it all down the straight. It's all braking corners. It's just so much faster. So yeah, it's completely different. So to try and we don't test you compared to moto guys who are out there, all the time, just
right now,
literally out there right now on the track, and it's like, for us, it's simulator, which we obviously spend a lot of time in, but we can't test. So for me, with Red Bull last year, I did half a day in Jerez, and then did the Bahrain test, and then Melbourne. And the Bahrain test, we didn't have, it wasn't a smooth test. We missed half a day from mechanical stuff. So it was just and then you're in Melbourne, you've really not really done that many laps in the car.
It's raining.
Yeah, it's raining, but like same for Jack and for for guys who come into the sport, it's just the start is hard. It's really, really hard. Yeah. So you just can't judge somebody off that many races. Yeah,
and so the start of 2025 is just a straight massacre.
Yeah,
it was season 2025 of F1 was basically season 3 of Game of Thrones. Yeah, like just everyone lost their head. Everyone got decapitated. There was blood everywhere. It was a complete massacre.
It honestly, like to look back on the year, it's so hard to even remember. It was such a hard time, such a blur, so much going on that I remember, and the difference from before Melbourne, like the dream for me has been get into Formula One, but like that Red Bull seat, the years of first watching F1 was 2010. I was 8, and Vettel was winning his first world championships. The team was winning their first world championships, and they were dominating. So like Red Bull were the guys, and being 15, 16 years old, seeing Jack as a Red Bull junior, that was the coolest. Like if I could pick, it was. Because to be honest, when I had the Red Bull contract, we were talking to a couple of other teams as well, and I remember getting advice from people like, maybe you should consider. And I was just like, it's Red Bull, that's it. Like I just want to be with Red Bull. To be a Red Bull racing driver
it's iconic.
It was literally what all I'd thought about. Like when I visioned myself going to Formula One, it was with them. So to get that seat was like, it was so exciting. Like it was such a cool thing.
Was that almost like the moment that you thought you were going to have the first time around?
Yeah, that was it. Genuinely, that was what I missed coming into F1. I was getting the news, going home, getting to tell my family and spend time with them and prepare for the season mentally, and sort of get ready for it. What I thought was ready for it at the time,
Yeah.
I just remember going. I was quite happy, Obviously, there's pressure, but I went to Melbourne being, very happy and excited, excited for the year, full season, and maybe I was naive to think that I'd be treated differently.
In what way?
Compared to, if you look at the history of Red Bull drivers that haven't been given maybe the chance that they should have, maybe, or. It's a very cutthroat program. A lot of drivers have been axed pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And, not 2 races in. That's not what I expected. But, it was, that's the kind of thing. So, I just remember being excited. And obviously Melbourne didn't go well, but China was a sprint weekend and it wasn't a good weekend. But to be fair, there was a couple of times through the weekend where I actually started to get a little bit more to grips with the car and sort of building this plan of what we were going to do to carry on building it in that direction to make it better for me. And then it was just over so quickly. And I even heard the rumors about it, but even thought like, nah, there's just no way, bro. Like,
2
that's
races,
just not true.
bro.
Yeah. Like I know it's cutthroat, but it's not,
It's not like
it's
that.
not. I feel like I'm at least going to go to a track that I've been to.
Yeah.
And then be tested, No. So it was like, that was just, wild.
But I mean, it's probably a crazy blessing in disguise in
maybe
some
this
ways.
is the thing. I will never know. And at the end of the day, we all, as any, sports person in whatever industry you're in, like you have to have that self-belief first of all to, like if you go into a series or into a weekend and you think somebody's better than you, there's no chance, right? So we all, inside, we believe that we're the best. So, me having that sort of belief, I'll always tell myself I would have got to grips within a couple more races, But obviously, I'm still driving now, so I can't I can't say that I'm glad it happened, but I'm grateful that I'm still driving.
Yeah.
And I don't know what would have happened if I'd stayed there and done the whole year, and, maybe things would have been differently. So,
And you'd have to think that the Liam Lawson that's sitting right there right now, if you took you right now and took you back to March of 2025, like I'm sure that you would be more well equipped to handle the situation that you found yourself in. You got tested, dude.
yeah.
You got
Yeah.
held to the flame and you survived, you lived, and you're still in the dance, And I think that level of pressure, like the kind of crucible that you were in, that would have changed you as a person. And the amount of growth that you would have done in 12 months it's like years worth of growing, And I think that you'd have to be grateful for that in a sense,
I think that goes with anything You know, it goes with having a driver that has had a hard career, somebody that's had to fight for things, somebody that's not always been in the best teams, not always been in the best cars, somebody that at the end of the day, if you survive something that's harder or, you know, worse, you always end up being better for it. And in that sense, yeah, I'm grateful for, I think it's probably what helped me even get to Formula One in the first place was, it starts from day one, honestly. And starting go-karts as a kid, my first go-kart was the worst go-kart you've ever seen, dude. This thing was so bad. It had a rainbow steering wheel.
It was wood.
Honestly, like the seat might have actually been made out of wood. This thing was and my first year of go-karting, I think I finished last solidly every single race. And I would complain to my dad, man, like, Dad, the engine sucks. Like, I can't, you know. And my dad doesn't know racing, so to be honest, I think he thought I was shit, to be honest. But I'd been pestering him for so long and finally he invested in these two really good engines. Like, this is still cadet class, like entry, you know, first class. Got these two engines and bolted them on for this. We went to the big event, like a lot of good guys there, and I remember looking at him, like we put the engine on for qualifying, and like looking at him like, well, this is it, you know, like this is where we find out. And went from literally qualifying stone dead last to qualifying first.
That must have been the biggest piece of shit go-kart that you were in
honestly,
before.
Dude, it was just the engine as well. Like it was
Couldn't
just
pull the skin
because
off
I
a
still
custom.
ran that go-kart with the rainbow steering wheel, but I had got a new engine, and it just went and qualified first. And the funny thing is, like I remember because we got two engines. One of them was good, like this engine was real good, and the other one was decent. And like the thing you do is, you know, you don't run your A motor every single time. Obviously, you know, you put it on for the good weekends. But we had so much fun winning that we go to club days, number one motor on the car. We just ran this thing everywhere until it blew up. And then it was like, oh, now what do we do? You know, this thing's this thing's gone. You know, this thing that had been helping us win for so long. And then you're kind of back to having something half decent, and you're fighting for it again. And it's just, I had that for so long, through all the ranks, you know, trying to not always having the best gear, and I'm so thankful for that now, because it taught me how to race, taught me how to do that. To anybody that has never had that, who's just always had the best gear, racecraft is never going to be as
That's
good. It's always going to be, yeah. So to your point, to have gone through everything last year, I'm extremely grateful to have gone through it, because I know I learned so much from it to go forward now and to
and you just can't fake those lessons.
No.
You know, like, I mean, I'm sure it was extremely difficult. Extremely difficult.
Yeah, I try not to. I think I don't show emotion too much especially around people. But you know, obviously, the amount of times, it's with us is so much. You spend so much time with yourself, and so you learn how to. You almost become. It's hard to explain, but you know yourself. You spend so much time with yourself. You almost talk to yourself a little bit, obviously. And so when we're traveling, I'm traveling alone and doing all this stuff. I spend so much time just thinking. Use so much time thinking about stuff. So through all of those moments, as much as I didn't probably show emotion around to people around me and stuff like that, to, you know, with myself, it was a pretty brutal time. You're fighting your own mind so much. But yeah.
What's up, Gypsy Gang? I'm so stoked to announce my new flannel with Dixon. You can check the link in the description below or head to dixon.com. But we've been working on this for about a year now. I picked all the colors, I picked the design, I picked the patterns, and it's finally alive. If you've worn Dixon flannels before, you know that they are the best flannels that you can buy. And if you've never had the privilege of owning a Dixon flannel of your own, this is about as good as an excuse as you will ever have. I've been wearing this flannel all through Japan. I've been wearing it on the podcast. It's well and truly wear tested. Remember, head to dixon.com, click the link in the description to cop the all new Gypsy Tales signature Dixon flannel. I don't think people have a crazy perspective of what you guys really go through from the travel perspective, the time zones, so when I would go to races with DR, I would get sent a PDF of 15-minute increments, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the actual fuck is this? And it's legit 15-minute increments of his time from Thursday to Saturday. And then it's just like the drivers, like the engineering meetings at the end of the race weekend. It's like, yeah, that's probably going to go till 2 a.m. So whatever you did plan for that downtime, well, that's gone. Then you're going straight on the plane. And it is so much more solitude and you're very isolated and secluded. But you're around so many people and there's so much going on around you. I don't think the average fan would have like that perspective, right? Like I feel like they think it's a bit more glamorous than what it is.
Yeah. 100%.
Yes, you're in private jets. Yes, you're flying first class. Like,
yeah, no. I mean, yeah, I'm definitely. I'm not going to complain about the lifestyle. I'm extremely lucky to be doing this, but yes, it's very different to what I expected and to what people would probably understand. And you compare it to other sports, maybe where the training obviously is, every sport, people are training 24/7. That's always going to be there. But, our weekends start sometimes they start on Tuesday. Your travel day is Monday. You're doing some content, some shooting, some media on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you're at the track for media preparations with the team, stuff like that. And then Friday into the weekend. And if you're in a triple header, Sunday you fly, Sunday after the race, you fly to the next country, wherever it might be. And it might not even be just in Europe, it could be Brazil to Qatar or something like that.
Big stint.
It's a big flight.
Yeah.
And, or to Vegas or something like that, what did we do last year? Vegas to Qatar is the big flight, or the other way around, Qatar to Vegas. I can't even remember. But it's
hell would ya?
It's just massive, and then you're back into that same routine again, and it's 24/7. So, and the weekends themselves, we have people around, because if I had to manage my schedule, dude, there's just no way. So,
No.
But we do have people that manage it minute by minute, and it's just you're having a conversation with one person, Liam, right, next one up, and then you're just straight into another one and greeting different people, and it's just it's quite insane. And for somebody like at DR's level, he is on another whole sort of level of,
I guess, requirements, PR, media, that sort of stuff.
It's more just even how big he is as a person. His fame, it's so much bigger, so there's just even more attention there.
Yeah.
And it's super intense.
I remember we were at Barcelona and it was like, okay, come to McLaren, we'll have some brekkie. And then so you sit down, I've already finished my breakfast. His food's just there. And then so he's got this little window where it's like, okay, this is his time to have some breakfast. And then some dude that owns some massive company that's probably like pumping $10 million into the team wants a combo with DR. And so he ate like one bite of his food and a bit of avocado, and then it's off. And then it was practice.
That's it.
And it's just
you
like,
can't come back, and
it's gone. And I mean, I've been around a lot of sports, and nothing compares to that.
It's that like if you need a minute, you don't have it. So it's like we have our planned times for lunch and stuff like this, which actually we just eat in the debrief. So we basically, like, you're coming from a session, you get out of the car, you go straight to the treehouse, you sit down at your screen, headset on. We get delivered food, great food, and it's great, but you're literally eating while you're debriefing with your engineers. And then it's basically off to the next, pretty much to the next session. You don't really go anywhere else. But before the weekend, when you basically have that time to eat lunch on, it'll only be Thursday would be the only day that you don't eat in a debrief. That's the only time that's allocated for that. But everything else, from when you arrive at the track to leave, there's actually no time in there where you're not doing something. It's all accounted for, basically. You're always, so you're if you're like, I just want to go and like the thing I struggle with sometimes is I'm like, dude, I got to take a shit. It's like, you don't have time. Yeah. I'm like, well, what do you want me to do?
Shit in the car, brother.
Yeah, it's like,
Get in the car.
Sometimes it's like what I find myself managing that schedule. So it is very, very different. It's very, very intense. And again, that's the thing when you step in F1, that's just so different from everything else.
Yeah.
Everything before that. It is hectic.
Yeah. How do you get better at managing those days, do you think? Because, I mean, there's just so much of your time.
You get used to it because the thing that is quite nice is actually every weekend ends up being the same in terms of there'll be different people, like it'll be a different person you're meeting or a different content piece you're filming, but it's actually all at the same time. You arrive at the track, the first thing you do is meet and greets is your first thing, and then you move on to content filming, and then you move on to paddock club, and then you move on, and it's always the same throughout the weekends. So although it's different people that you're doing stuff with, you get into the routine of knowing sort of what's coming. So that part of it, and I'm like a routine guy, so creature of habit, that part I actually get used to. So you don't really get any more. It doesn't change the fact that you don't have time to do stuff, but you sort of know what's coming a little bit, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
So it's not like everything's a surprise.
So what was the hardest part about the Red Bull car? Was just you just didn't have enough time?
That's what I'll always, for me, it's always going to be, I didn't have enough time to get my head around it. So it is very different. It was very different from the V-Cub at the time, but it's not that like, I think everybody just maybe thinks that it's got so much front and that it's undrivable because it's got so much front. And it's actually not like that, because especially from where we started last year, even if you look at Max, for example, I think they actually found a lot through the year, a lot, towards the end of the year, he was a lot quicker. Because when I was there, the McLarens were gone. We weren't fighting the McLarens, really. Anyway, I mean, I wasn't fighting the McLarens. I was fighting myself at the back. But, it was... I
was just fighting demons,
it was
bro.
just fighting demons, dude. But, like, it's not just like the car has too much front, because actually I've always been the type of person that likes a lot of front of the car. It's not that, it's the balance through the corner wasn't very good where we started last year, but it's not just too much front. It's very sensitive for sure, when you initially turn in, but it's just the feeling that you're trying to find. Like at the end of the day, when you drive these cars, especially F1, the commitment level is so high. You're turning into a corner at 300 plus, flat out, and not even lifting. Trying to turn one, for example, it's just such a high speed that if you're not 100% confident when you're doing it, it's not like half a tenth or it's half a second. You lose so much lap time if you're not. So you need to be sort of that level of comfort, being comfortable. And
it's expectation, right? Like you've got to have a certain level of predictability of knowing what. Yeah, you do X, what it equals
what's coming.
Y.
Yeah, you got it exactly.
But it's one of the things. So to explain to people that don't know about downforce, so F1 is the car with the most downforce. Like it's basically a spaceship that flies the opposite way. So instead of going up, it gets pushed down. It's
compressed into the ground. Yeah.
And so as a driver, I'm just trying to layman's terms it. You're basically 300 flat out. And then you just initiate a turn, and then you put all of your trust in this invisible force called downforce that no one can see. You can't feel it. The only way that it's like a portal that you've got to walk into, right? Like you've literally drive into the downforce portal.
You turn, the whole body goes the other way, and you're just fighting that force that's pushing you the other way, and trusting that this car and the wind, for example, if you have a tailwind, you just get a gust of tailwind, you're gone. Like it's like you just get unlucky. Dude, the amount of times we come in after qualifying and I'm like, I've lost a car or something like this, and made a mistake or something, and gust of wind, mate. Sorry. Cheers. What are you meant to do about that? You just and everybody has it at some point. It's just you just get unlucky. But that's how these cars are so sensitive, that the difference between having a headwind and a tailwind and a crosswind and a gusty session. Do you remember Baku last year qualifying was everybody was just shunting.
Yeah.
And I had a great session and qualified third, but just because I survived, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, it was just like every lap we went out, it was super gusty, and every lap we went out, it was just different. You brake, and all of a sudden you don't have the same grip as last time. So it's not even, so you never actually have that 100% level of confidence anyway, because Mother Nature
All
doesn't
that
let you.
external
Yeah,
factors.
there's so many external factors that tide temps, wind directions, that make a difference. But yes, essentially you're committing to this extreme thing that obviously we know the car's going to stick most of the time, but it's that level of comfort basically that you need to have. And first of all, when you can't test all the time, it's when you come into F1, it's very hard to have that. And I think coming in last year with Red Bull, but the way the car was, especially at the start of the year, was very tricky to drive. And so I had it, just not when I needed it. So I had it a couple of times, through those 2 weekends, but just not in qualifying in Q1 when it needed to happen. Melbourne, like I locked up, went off both times, had a shocker. But then in the race, it was wet and it dried up for a few laps. We did a couple of laps. We came in for slicks. We did I think 4 laps. And I actually was really comfortable on those 4 laps, which is crazy because it was like a single line. But I think we were still one of the quickest cars on track. And then, so it was, and then it rained again, and I stayed out in slicks, and we ended up crashing. So the race is done. But I remember going away from that being like, okay, that feeling I need to have going forward. But it's China, new track, sprint weekend, practice was super
So the sprint weekend just makes everything matter more, in a sense.
Well, you just have one practice session.
Everything has to happen quicker.
Yeah, exactly. So you have one practice session, then you're qualifying. So sprint quali was a shocker, I think. And then went into the next, and then we did the sprint race. But again, sprint race actually was quite okay. Moved through the field and finished. I can't remember where we finished. But again, I had that level of comfort sort of coming. And then quali, first lap, we have 2 laps in Q1. First lap was actually half decent. I had made a mistake, but that level of comfort was there where I was committing and it was good. And I think we were actually in the top 10 at that point, which is not enough, but it's way different, better than when you're not comfortable. And then lap 2 rolls around and my outlap's compromised, colder tires, and I'm just like going to turn 1, don't have that level of comfort's gone, completely gone. Turn in, I don't know what it's gone, and then the lap it's completely out of the window. And
so what is all right? So you've gone down the straight, and then you're braking, turn in.
Well, you're actually turning in flat out. Yeah.
So that level of hesitation is like, instead of just going in, there's like a bit of what is it?
You just lift. Basically, I'm coming down there. I'm looking at my dash. Tires are below where they need to be. And I turn and I feel something that exactly, and it's like, nah, it's not there.
And that moment,
it's gone. And it's half a second was just straight away into turn 1, which is massive, but it's just that the difference between being comfortable, being that committed and having that level of comfort commitment is what you need to have in Formula 1. And when you don't have it, it's massively different. And it obviously then I go to a car that is more familiar and comes back. So
it's almost like there's a window that you've got to be in of commitment, right? And so you can not even get into the window, or like you can nudge up again. If there's like a square here that you've got to like drive in, that's like the zone.
I wasn't in it.
Yeah, you can like dip a toe in there.
I was kind of I just started dipping my toe, but not on those laps where it needed to be. It was either in practice but in 2 weekends that's all I had. So never got to the point where I had a good quality or something like that, because I just did 2 of them. So,
but the flip side is you can go outside of that square,
if you go too far,
so you can go too far. So you can not overcommit. You can not dip you can just dip your toe in and not get in the zone, or you could go straight through the zone, and that's where all 4 wheels lose traction and you slide into the wall.
And it's so far, that's the thing is when you're in a normal car and you lose you lose the car or you have a snap or something like, you lose traction, it's quite often you can catch the car or something like that, But in F1, these cars are designed to go like punch through the air straight. And when they're going through the air straight, all these wings, the floor, everything is designed to compress that car into the ground. So when you turn through a corner, to a certain extent, you're actually, like we call it, obviously when you start turning, you start rotating, and you start getting air that's starting to not come straight, it's coming at a different angle. So you actually start losing a little bit of, and when you lose the car and you hit that side on, it's gone. So you have no chance, really. It's like you could have the fastest hands ever, but if you get to a certain angle and you're gone too far in a high-speed corner, it doesn't matter how good you are at sort of catching the car. The load's gone. You actually have nothing left. So you either go too far and you snap back the other way, or you just start pirouetting. You're sort of gone. So
not to mention the force that's coming back through your hands.
Through your hands, yeah. It's like
brutal.
Multiple tons of downforce. It's incredible. It's incredible. You see the slow-mos of the cars, like, and the tires being pulled underneath the rim, and the sort of loads that are going through the car. We're sort of pulling between 5. This year we probably won't, but last year like 5. 5 plus. Even before that, 2021, I think they were pulling up to 6G, which is just like insane. 6G in a car.
Melting your face.
Yeah, just literally.
Have you the clip of Max that he like loses it a couple of times in the wet? Have you ever seen that? It was like early days. I feel like it was maybe his first ever season or something. There's just like a mind-bending catch of him. He's like...
Oh, there's one where he's lost in Brazil, where he's lost the car and brought it back, I think.
Is that the one?
He's had plenty.
He's had a few.
Yeah. The guy's got insane car feel.
It's like Marquez type style, I think this is a clip. Yeah, this is just like freak shit, eh?
He hits the white line, boom, car's gone. And then he locks the wheels.
Bro.
And that's what brings it back.
How?
Well held, Max. Well held. Yeah, heartbeat went a bit higher there.
Dude, he is iconic, eh? Yeah. He is going to go... I actually have met him. I met him in Melbourne, but it was like a media thing. But, bro, he's going to go down as just like an absolute icon
Do you know,
of
like,
the sport.
He's also so nice, like, as a person. He's such a nice guy. Like, through everything that happened last year with Red Bull, he was so good to me, man.
Really?
So before I came into the team, like when I first came into the team, he was super nice and, sort of any questions. He was just really helpful. Was happy to help. And then afterwards as well, he was really, really good to me.
I thought maybe he was like treated you like a foster dog. That he knew was going back to the shelter. He's like, all right, don't get too attached to the little guy because he's going to go back to the shelter.
Dude, he was really, he was really, really good. And then still he's like quite often he flies home and I just moved to Monaco last year and he's just like, just come with me if you ever need a ride. So he's, real nice guy.
I've heard the same thing.
Yeah. I guess Daniel knew him real well as well when he's...
Reckons he's the man. Which
he
is sick. Like, I love...
Just wants to drive all the time. Like, just wants to race and that's it. Don't really care about anything else.
Yeah. That's the thing. I love to see that in guys. Because so often, sports just chew them up and spit them out and they want nothing to do with it. And it's sad in a way.
I know.
You kind of... You've got this crazy skill that got you to be one of 20 people on planet Earth, and it can burn you to the point where you don't want to drive a race. You don't want to do this thing that you became the 1% of the 1%, And he's an example of like, got an off weekend, I'm going to go and smash the Nürburgring,
Exactly, but he'll do it in, like, not that you can go and test Formula 1 car whenever you want, but he'll go and drive something just completely different.
Well, see that he drove the shitty little car at Nürburgring that
you
had to drive to get the license. That's the most G shit ever.
I was with, who was I with when he was doing that weekend? And I think he got away with it, but I think his teammate shunted the car, and then it was like he might not get the license because his teammate shunted the car or something like that. I think so, but he got it in the end. But yeah, you have to do.
And he could have campaigned to surely.
That's what I was like. Yeah, I know, but
he would have been like, no, it's fine.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
I'll go and do the race.
I'll race a Renault Clio, whatever it was. I don't know what they were, but yeah, like not a GT3 car.
And I love that the dude at the top is not above the thing at the very bottom.
No.
You know, I just think that to me speaks volumes about him as a person.
Yeah.
And just like the win. I mean, him and Lewis, bro, like that last season that they battled for that championship.
Crazy.
Bro. That was
peak Formula One, man.
That was hectic. Like that's a guy that would just do whatever to win.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't give a fuck that I'm in this multi-million dollar vehicle. Like zero respect.
It's not even that. That doesn't even cross your mind. It's it's more the like risk on terms of having a shunt. That's not, you don't even think about either. You're just not thinking about anything that could possibly happen other than making that overtake.
No consequences.
That's it. Zero. You just, yeah. But you have to have that. Like if you're driving a car and again, it's the same thing. If you have any side of hesitation in there, you're slow. You're not going to be where you need to be. You have to. It just has to be. So much of it has to be. What's crazy is how much of it's actually subconscious. Like the driving part of it. Like anything, like moto, like other sports, you don't think about really I don't think you're really thinking about what you're doing.
When was the first time that occurred to you?
That's been there since I was a kid.
So you knew that as a kid?
Yeah. Well, I know because you don't know it. You don't think about it. That's the thing. It's like,
so when did you start thinking about it?
Probably when people ask me, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I don't really know what I'm doing. They ask you what technique or what, line or where you're braking here or something like this as a kid. And I was just like, dude, I have no idea. Just driving. And that is, if you can keep as much of that, and then the stuff you focus on is the real important details. Specific styles to different corners, different curbs you're using. Maybe try this white line, or this curb, try that.
So like systematic in preparation, instinctual in execution, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly. You kind of go into a session with a couple of things. I'm going to try this, try that. And then in F1, it's the amount of communication. It's the amount of switch changes, that calling. That's really what you're thinking about. If they're tell you to do a switch change, you're thinking about that. You're thinking about what tire condition you're in a qualifying session. You're out lap trying to build the tires up to perfect sort of condition to start your lap. Make sure they're in the right window. Make sure your gap's big enough to the car ahead. You don't get any turbulent air. That's all the stuff you're like thinking about. And then when you're driving, it's just subconscious or subconscious.
I wonder how many people. That's fascinated me forever, right? Because I was the kid. I was never good at racing. I was never good at riding. That's why I ended up doing media, because I was like, I want to work in bikes, but I'm not going to be a racer, But I learned pretty early on that I was obsessed with riding, because that's when the voice in my head stopped.
Yeah,
as kind of like crazy as that.
The fact
sounds.
you're aware of that is impressive.
Spent my whole life thinking about that concept.
Wow.
Because it was so wild to me how obsessed I was with this thing that I was actually pretty shit at. So I had to figure out what the deal was, because I don't want to say ruined my life, but I didn't focus on school. I didn't have girlfriends. I just I didn't do all of the normal shit that other people did, because I just loved bikes. I loved watching bikes. I loved riding bikes. I loved reading about bikes, all of it, because it took me out of all of the other problems that I was having in my life, But then, so I knew that was a thing, but that didn't translate to racing. I started thinking, I would think about everything that I did. But the reality is that you don't think when you drive. And that's why we all gravitate towards these things. And I think that as an athlete, if you can get into that space where you just know it's instinct and you don't overcomplicate it, that's where the real magic is.
The only thing I've noticed in myself is if I crash, for example, is I'm in a session and I'm driving, and you won't realize sort of the intensity or the mind space, the sort of head space you're in, because you either finish a qualifying or you finish a race and you have your in lap, you communicate, you talk to your engineer, you come in, you unplug, you get out of the car and you walk. But when you crash, and maybe this is a really weird thing a way to explain it, but this is how I've worked it out with myself is when I've crashed, it's you go from being at that 100% subconscious level to boom, out of it. You're in the wall.
Again.
And I'm like, you're sitting there, you feel your heart rate, you're listening to yourself breathing, like, and I didn't realize that I had no idea that I was at this level of intensity 5 seconds ago. I had no idea until I got snapped out of it forcefully almost. And then I'm like aware of like, holy smoke, like what was I just doing? What was I just doing? And the adrenaline, everything is like, you feel it, but you're not aware of it because when you're in it, I don't know, you're just not aware of it. But that's the only time I've experienced being snapped out of it and realizing that sort of space that you're in. It's so different from, and you don't realize it because I feel like you warm into it and warm out of it when you come in from a session or something like that. You don't.
And that's very routine.
It's very, exactly.
But crashing is out of the
Crashing,
routine.
exactly. You go from that sort of level that you're in, that sort of weird headspace that you're in when you're racing or you're driving, to just you get forcefully snapped out of it, and then you're suddenly aware of what you're feeling, and it's crazy how I can't believe how high my heart rate is sometimes when maybe part of it's because I've just had a massive crash.
Yeah.
But like,
but it would have been up there beforehand.
And it's also the mental switch of like, whoa, like
it's almost back to reality.
It is honestly, and then you learn, you sort of realize, and that feeling of same as how you explained it, that feeling of driving a car on the limit is just such an incredible feeling. And to do it in a Formula One car where it's obviously the fastest is obviously, it's sort of extreme, but it's that level is that sort of feeling that you have when you just, it's amazing.
Akrapovich, I will say this, best built muffler for the money.
I've never owned one in my life. They f those things.
Dude, $1,600, dude.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, you will. You'll do it.
Damn you, Chris Kiefer. They've got one. This part fits your ride. 1,300 with shipping. All right, let's go. So now we hurry up and wait. Oh, that was quick.
Yeah, already.
That's unbelievable. That happened so fast. Because this order was over $79, it qualified for free shipping. And Kiefer was right. This might be the most well-built exhaust I've ever seen. And we wasted no time fitting it to my YZ450. The way the exhaust mounts on Yamahas is unique, but really simple. And in about 20 minutes, we have transformed the look, the sound, and the engine characteristics of this 450. All that's left to do is hit the track. As usual, Kiefer was right. The Acro took the power of the Yami and put it in all the right places. It was smooth off the bottom, but still meaty, and I loved the new exhaust note. To transform your next ride, hit the link in the description and head to motorsport.com. And right now, if you head to motorsport.com/win, you can enter their ultimate ride sweepstakes and win a YZ450F of your own. Have you ever thought about why some people are just faster than other people?
Well, I think the thing is, like, in Formula One, you have 20 guys. You have 20 guys, and they're all, honestly, even if people comment on, people have opinions on this guy sucks, this guy's good.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, everybody's pretty damn fast. To be honest, I think everybody would be in the same car, like in the right circumstance, within a tenth, two, maybe, like ultimately, after a minute, 30 of a lap.
At 300 kilometers an hour.
1/10 maybe. Like everybody is very, very, very good. And it's not to say that there is so many that never even get the chance that are also just as good.
Just as good, yeah.
But it's like, even in F1, as much as people are like, this guy sucks, but this guy, it's Nobody
very
sucks,
relative,
bro.
yeah.
It's very relative, so it's...
This guy sucks against this guy. So this guy in the 1% of the 1% sucks compared to this guy that's the 1% of the 1%. Like, that's the level that we're digging into it.
So and the thing is, in Formula One is there's so many variables, like it is, as much as it sucks, it's so much down to what car you're driving, and there's a lot more than other sports where it's just down to, you basically. So, yeah. But I would say that there's not really that many. It's more like there's characteristics difference in different drivers. Like, people are known for maybe different things or different styles, or you sort of know who you're racing a little bit. And some guys are better, differently, are very good in qualifying. But again, like, when you're comparing all these different things, we're talking the tiniest margins of differences in reality.
But what about your brain versus my brain? Because the way I always think about this, right? So, like, me and you, just put me in your Lambo, right?
Yeah.
You're in the Lambo, and then you basically, it's just you would set up this science experiment of who hits the brakes first to turn for turn one, right? So I think about this. This is what my weird brain thinks about, right?
Yeah.
So there's, like, at the level of your brain, chemicals forcing you to make decisions, right? There's a fuck, hit the brakes that I feel. And it feels a certain way to me. My brain does whatever chemicals that makes me like, then I hit the brakes. I'm guessing that you have that same feeling. Like, if you were wedged to a turn and then you've got a brake to make that turn, like, it's going to be the same impulse, like, that your brain gives you to do that. But are you just feeling it down the road?
I don't think I'm feeling it.
Are you not feeling it in a different way? Yeah, what are you...
I don't
what's
think
the
I'm feeling
difference
it. I
between
think I
me
feel
and
it
you?
different. I think I don't feel the like, yeah, I see that I'm not going to make the corner. And so, like, when you're trying to either overtake or, you're putting a lap together, you're trying to go as fast as you can, I've braked too, like, I've braked too late, and I'm like, oh, I'm missing the corner. But it's never, I don't think I have that like feeling of, if it's worry or like hesitation or something like that, or that I don't feel like I have. I don't think we can have that. If you have that, you're the easiest guy to race against, really, because you're just trying to put that guy in that all
in
the
that
time.
zone. Yeah.
So
Okay. So yeah,
I think it's a different. I think I get a different
feeling.
I see the corner. I see, like, myself missing the corner, so I know I have to brake maybe, or I know I've braked too late or something like that. But I think it's a different feeling that I get.
What about when you ride?
It's interesting because when I rode as a kid, so I never had my own bike growing up, but I loved it. Like, I loved. So my mate had a track at his house, had a KX 125, KX or S6, KTM.
Yeah,
S6
125. Yeah.
And I'd go over there and ride. I'd ride it all the time, and I just fell in love with riding bikes as well as driving go-karts. And the thing I felt on a bike was when I was young and I was having not any thought about any consequences, and I was just riding for fun. What I loved about the riding part was the faster I would go, like, the more adrenaline I would get, and then I would just keep going faster and keep going until I would shunt, like, until you'd fall down, basically.
Yeah.
But the feeling right before that was
The best.
So it's just the best. Such a cool feeling. So now it's, to be completely honest, it's different because I don't take any risk on a bike. So I'm like, I love riding, but it's so much margin. It's not even this. It's not the same as when I drive a car because I don't even get close to that point. So it's, yeah, but I love it.
So is it a thing that you're born with, or is it just something that you've done for so long that you've been driving go-karts and, like, has your brain, like, because it's information, right? So when you're sending it down a straight and you have to come up to a turn, like, you're getting all of this sensory information and all of this input that is then making you make a decision. So is your brain different? Does it process speed in a different way?
I think there's no fear, I would say. So the only thing that you're, like, there's never, like, if I have brake too late, or I've, there's no, and I think it just comes from doing it since I was 5.
Yeah.
So I think it's a 5-year-old. There's probably some fear there, maybe, or maybe I was just an idiot. I don't know, but but it's all I've done my whole life. It's all I've thought about. It's all I've known. It's the only thing, I as a kid, I would run around my school making car noises, pretending to be a race car. It's just all I wanted to do. So, bro, up until I was like 11, not like really young. Like I got to a point where it was weird.
Yeah.
And so I think it's because I've done it my whole life. But I think the main thing there is, there's just no real fear when you're driving. So when you're taking these risks or something like that, there's no fear of the consequence, really. There's just seeing the lap time or the mistake or losing a position or something like that. You're just seeing, to the point like when I drive on the road and like I'll go on a road trip or a journey and I've overtaken a series of cars, and then Hannah's like, "Oh, I want to stop for and I'm like, I've just overtaken these guys, and I'm just gonna watch, and I watch them go back by, and I'm just like, that frustrates me, and I have to like remind myself, dude, what are you doing? You're like literally driving somewhere like
You've programmed your brain at this point.
Yeah, it's just how it's how it's all you see. So it's the main thing is you can't have that. You can't have that fear of consequence, I think, because then there's hesitation.
Yeah, I got that. I got all that in spades. But
always had it, or like how much did you race?
Well, yes, I think it's probably just because it was so sporadic. Up until I think I bought my own bike when I was 15.
Yeah.
So it's probably just so late, But like I go riding, well, like I'll ride a lot now, and there's some like we do the Cape York trip.
Yeah.
So we'll go all the way up, and I mean it's like the fucking best, and it's so much fun. And by the last day of that trip, a lot of the fear is gone. And I'm not talking fear, but I'm not talking like I'm scared.
You're just comfortable.
But there's a level of like heightened anxiety where I'm like, I'm trying to fucking make sure there's no kangaroos, there's no this. Like you're just red alert. Like it's not comfortable. And I'm saying we're probably doing like 150 Ks.
Yeah.
On dirt roads, in the dust. So like it's a pretty gnarly kind of situation. But I know guys that full like this guy just fucking fully doesn't care, doesn't think it's like whenever I'm going there's a bend, right? I'm going left-hand turn. I'm like I'm trying to think like how much traction do I have? Is the rear end gonna break? Like I'm not just doing it. It's very, very hard for me to get out of that state. But so when I do jiu-jitsu, exact opposite. Not a thought goes through my pretty little head. And so that's why I kind of have that.
See, but you're very aware of it, which is like quite interesting. Yeah, but I mean that's the thing is I think it comes, you see a lot of drivers have it maybe when they get to a point in their career where either they've already had a good career maybe, or they have something else in their life that
takes precedence.
And then there's maybe that second thought that comes in, or that where you question a move or something like that. But when you've done it from 5 years old to my age, and this is all I live for, there's no other thought there.
That must be so nice.
This is the thing. It's not something I've really until thinking about it now really been aware of. It's just how it's. But it's how you have to be.
Yeah. Why didn't you have bikes as a kid? Would your parents not allow?
Yeah. Yeah, just because they wouldn't allow.
They made the right call.
Yeah.
Because because
I did fall off when I was a kid, and I was pretty dumb. Like I was.
Yeah.
And this is the thing it is.
This kid needs a roll cage. Essentially, is what your parents thought.
Yeah. And like I was like go karting, but I was they were spending a lot. Everything they had on me basically. So it was like, to be honest, couldn't probably afford to have a bike as well anyway. But it was like
a distraction.
What's important, Liam? Here, where I think the mission was, there was no pressure from my parents, but the mission about going to Formula One was there in my mind, it was there from when I was a kid anyway. And they sort of, if I had that, then they had that. And so to them it was like, well, you're doing this, So this is a risk you shouldn't be taking.
Yeah. How much were you into bikes throughout your whole life? Was it always something that you watched? Did you go in and out of watching it?
Probably in and out. Like I've always been obsessed with it, but like just with the F1 schedule, I would have to really make an effort to be able to keep up with what was going on. So that's why it was probably more in and out until the last probably couple of years where I got a lot more, probably more into it.
What sucked you back in?
Probably just so my partner now, Hannah, her dad,
Yeah, he's
races,
into it.
yeah,
Eh?
Robert loves it, races his
Yeah.
whole life, and so like I'd go to the house and we'd either watch Supercross or we'd watch stuff together, and he knows that sport on a high, on the sort of highest level, and so we just the relatable like talking
Yeah.
about F1 versus dirt bikes is just there's such a flowing conversation that's to be honest probably how I got more into it.
That's cool, eh?
Yeah.
It's kind of like an easy icebreaker for the old
100%,
man.
yeah.
Just like, you know what? Just going to talk about
Racing.
dirt bikes, and
Yeah.
this will be a lot easier than it could be.
Exactly. And it's obviously when you meet a girl, it's a very important part of that is the relationship with the dad, and something that I put a lot of effort in. But in the end, like, it was so relatable that it was enjoyable to talk about, and it probably did get me, back into it a lot more.
Yeah, that's cool. And so New Zealand is basically, for people that don't know, New Zealand is basically the best place on planet Earth to ride a dirt bike.
Is it really?
Bro.
See, I didn't know that.
New Zealand is the best place in the world for anything two-wheeled off-road.
Because
Hands down.
There's definitely so I built this track in New Zealand, and we did when I got my bike, basically it was a bit of a surprise, and like I knew I was going to get a bike, but I didn't know it was going to be
Legit.
It was
It's going to have your number on it.
yeah, like graphics and be built out, and it was sick. So I was like, and there was a couple other guys that were there at this track, and there was a young kid he was riding, and he's somebody that's sort of up and coming in New Zealand on dirt bikes, and he's like 17, I'm pretty sure. But dude, there's like this section that's like you're meant to sort of double, and just clearing that turns it into a triple. It's not meant to. I was just like, what is going on here? It was so cool to watch, but yeah. And then I look at like Cole is
Bro, New Zealand has a hope.
Dude,
I know.
and I
hope.
keep telling, like I sit here and I watch, I look at I get in not arguments, but like debates with Hannah's dad, for example, with Robert about, because obviously he's American, right? And so he's going to back up. He's very realistic, and he looks at Jet and Hunter and he goes, obviously, they're the best right now. Jet's obviously he's injured right now, but he's been the best guy for the last few years. But he's also a big supporter of the American side. And I'm like, no,
Who's
man.
this guy?
I don't actually think he has one, I don't think he has a guy, to be honest. But it's more like I'll just be like, nah, man, when Cole gets there, he's going to. Because what he did coming in last year.
Yeah.
Dude, he nearly with things going differently, he could have won, maybe should have.
Yeah, he was
And
unbelievable.
Just went on a streak of just destroying everybody, and good guys. Look at Deegan now. I wish they were. I don't know enough about the sport to know why they're not racing each other right now.
So they basically split the 250s into two coasts.
But why is he doing west, east?
So
Why is he
he'd be doing east because he had a thumb injury in the off season.
Okay.
So because the West Coast starts so much earlier, so he had a bit of an injury.
Yeah.
And I think as well, with how good that he went, you got to think if you start, you've kind of got guys on either side. So it's like Deegan's probably winning the title on this coast. So Star can win both championships. So they're just like, we'll put Cole.
And what will he
over
do?
there.
Okay. And when does that start?
When is the first round? Next weekend? No, 2 weeks.
And who will he be racing? Good, good guys. Because I guess West is more competitive.
Yes, Seth Hammaker. Yeah. Thrasher's going to be
Okay,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some good
Yeah,
guys,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I think he's going to be one of the favorites.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I love it too because his story, I mean, anyone that makes it from New Zealand is going to have a wild story.
They have a wild, yeah.
Because nobody does it.
Yeah.
There's no playbook. It's so obscure. It's the furthest place away from everything. That and South Africa are like that's. But even South Africa's 10 hours to Europe. You know, so to do it
Yeah.
from NZ is insane. But the best part about Cole's story is he basically spent years in Ben Townley's backyard learning how to ride Supercross.
Really?
Yeah. Unreal, dude. He came and he'd done some amateur stuff towards like kind of the pointy end of his career. But the whole, for you guys, you got to go to Europe and you got to race in the Euro Series and then F2 and F3.
Yeah.
There's a pathway, right?
Yeah.
And so here, or to make it in Supercross, you got to move to America. You got to do Loretta's every year.
Yeah.
There's like this pathway.
yeah.
And Cole just went, I'm just going to hit whoops in ZA. And then comes out and literally has like one standout ride at A2 the year before, 24.
In future, is it Futures?
It was Futures then. Comes out at A2, super tricky set of whoops. Even tricky for like Jet went off track there in the main. Like Ando went off there. It was a gnarly and they were jumpers too.
Yeah.
And so he had this crazy like, it was not a wheel tap, but he like pre-jumped, tripled in. It was just, what he did was just so insanely technical. And it was like with one ride, one whoop section, like that was all the info that you needed to know that kid was going to be good. And now with Futures, there never used to be Futures or the SMX Next, they call it now. It was basically you had to do Loretta's. You did this one big weekend a year. That was your tryout. And if you did good there, you got a ride essentially. Can you find it? Look on Peacock maybe. You'd be able to see it through Peacock. But anyway, it was just like crazy technical. So he just fully broke the mold. Gets the chance at Star. He goes to Star and they've got literally everyone there. And he's pretty much the fastest dude in the loops at Star. And they're like, boy, you hard. It's like, and then he's off to the races. You know?
And his attitude as well, he's so chilled. He's so like, he's so grounded. The main thing is just being grounded and he's very, very, he looks like a very grounded person.
Have you ever spoke to him?
Just over, I've never actually met him, just over text. Like Like I watched him, I went to A2 last year.
Yep.
And he was third, I think.
Yep.
And that's when he, after that, just turned it up.
Just
and
went on a
started,
run.
yeah, just started winning, dude, and just it was so cool to see. So I'm really excited for him, but I'm excited for like moto in general. I think like going.
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah,
I love
it's
it.
So good. It's
Yeah.
so good. Like, I'm fully invested now. You know, like watching Supercross now. I'm more excited for probably outdoors, just with everybody that's going to be in it.
Or is this? We'll find it. Yeah, the sport's just having a crazy, not resurgence. Like I feel like it's just been climbing, you know.
Here he is.
Is
yeah.
this? Oh yeah. Yeah, see that whoop section? He's got like doing that wheel tap in there.
Yeah.
Oh, was it that whoop section or was there two whoop sections on this track? Hey? Yeah, there's two. Yeah, it wasn't that whoop section. Yeah, there we go.
look at
See that? Bang, bang.
Oh my
bang.
God! He like literally the first one though. He like
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it, but
Go back, Griff.
the first
Go back, yeah.
Like here, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that is go back again. So there's the roller first. So he wheelies over the roller,
Yeah,
puts his front wheel
wheel
down,
down.
and then triples. And then, so watch here.
Up.
Wheelie, bruh.
Boom. Boom.
And so that's a straight audible. That's the thing so he's done something on the first lap, hasn't been that clean, and then he's just pulled an audible mid-moto, locked in on a line that he was pretty much the only dude doing, and then it ends up winning him the race.
Yeah.
And it's like that level of skill and talent at that age Fuck, I just fully realised how much I'm glazing Cole right now.
Bet he's good, bro. He's all good. I brought it up anyway. So,
No.
you know, yeah.
he's gonna-
I've seen the stuff you've done with him, so you know him differently.
He's going to send me a message.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks, little bro.
But
It's
he's-
either Unc or little bro, and I'm like, fuck, I ain't got much back for it, eh?
He's yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to see it.
Bro.
I'm excited to be like in sort of into it again, because I've always been into moto and always been into dirt bikes. I just love being back on a bike again, and yeah, just being sort of invested in watching it as well. Because to be honest, like I've never really looked at anything else, watched anything else like outside of. I feel terrible because the amount of times people are like, "Did you see this?" Or I was like, "No,
Nah, bro.
I didn't see it at all." Like I've now, you know, because I've just really just thought about. It sounds so selfish, but I've just been thinking about F1 for forever. So, I've always been into dirt bikes, but just never known enough about it until now. Knowing sort of people that do, just got me back into it again.
Dude, picture this. When's Cole going to go 450, you reckon? Probably like 28, 29?
Depends how it goes, I guess, right?
2029, Angel Stadium, first weekend of January, the lights come down, and you've got a Haka. And Cole Davies comes out for his first ever 450 opening
That's such a
ceremony
good
to a
idea.
full-blown Haka, and Cole at the front of it.
I would love to see that because I get the same in F1. People are like, you should get your team to
How
do a
sick
Haka on
would
the
that
grid
be?
or something like that. It would be amazing. It'd be amazing. People don't realize how powerful it is to sit like if you're in front of one. It'd be so cool.
Do you have like a first memory of it? Of seeing it?
To be honest, for me, it was high school. Like so in our national anthem, the New Zealand national anthem, there's actually a Haka in the middle
True.
between the two, between the Māori and the New Zealand and the English part of the anthem. There's actually a Haka in the middle. So, and like all the boys in school would. So when I first went to high school, I didn't know it, and all the guys stand up, and I'm like, what do I do? I didn't know it, yeah. And then so I learned it, and then like you're part of that group. And when you're part of it, it's incredible, honestly. Like I've never, it's a very different thing, but I haven't really done it since high school. So, but it's extremely powerful. And when you see, I don't know enough, to be able to speak about it, properly and the meaning behind it. But it is very, very powerful to.
What's the crazy one? Was it New Zealand versus France in the World Cup? There's a
Haka that's insane.
There's a
And
wild
they're walking
one.
towards.
Yeah.
They're walking
I
up
think
on
it's
them.
against France, dude.
I thought it was England.
Was
maybe,
it?
But All Blacks.
The
greatest
greatest Haka
Haka, yeah,
ever.
it's that one.
85 million views. Here we go.
Wow,
Full screen, full volume.
this is a great Haka. Yeah.
Yeah, this is intense, dude.
This is what I show people if they ever try and say, "Oh, what's that dance that you got?" I'm like, dude,
It's not a dance, bro.
oh my god, watch this. I've shown so many people this.
Especially with how loud that crowd is.
And you hear them, yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine
Standing in front of, for me, it's like, imagine just standing in front of them.
go back to 1210, the year 1210, and there's two tribes, and they're doing that before a war. The feeling on the ground when like
Okay,
people are
man.
actually about
It's
to
a
die.
life and death. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's when they start walking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big mistake.
Yeah, big mistake. I think we smashed them, didn't we?
Probably. I can't claim it. The French dudes have got in the locker room. They're like, okay, what we're going to do is.
We're going to walk up.
Yeah.
I might have even shown Isaac this last year.
Oh, really?
I don't know. If I haven't, I'm going to.
The French guy. So good.
Yeah.
Cole Davies, 2029, A1.
I'm going to be there. to
Liam
see that.
Lawson on the.
I'll go and support him. Yeah. As long as he leads it, I'll be there right with him. I'll be right
That
there with
would
him.
be the most goated shit of
Yeah.
all time. You've been following this season. You're at San Diego.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been following.
What do you make of it?
Tomac looks very good. He looks
does.
really, really good. Which is, I think to go to change bikes and be so comfortable straight away it's pretty impressive. I would have liked to have seen, him with Jet there, I think. But that's why I'm excited for outdoors. Jet's back and Deegan then comes up as well. Because there's so much, it's like, how's he going to go?
There's so much
Yeah.
going on, eh? I was thinking about it earlier. He's so unique and so different to what your world would be. Your world is very smile for the cameras.
Yeah.
Like what he did to Kitchen this weekend. Like, did you get to watch the mains
Yes.
in the end?
Yeah.
Bro,
he's
bodied him
yeah. I
and
know.
then got on the podium
It's
and
just like,
bodied
who?
him.
I know.
What would it take for that to happen in F1? Could that ever happen in F1?
The problem is there's too much. It's so corporate and there's so much money, involved that you just piss off so many people. It would just be such a big deal. So, yeah. At the end of the day, if anybody could do it, it's Max, probably. I think you have to be winning. You have to be sort of so desirable that to a team, keeping you is more important than any of the stuff that you go and do, like the stuff that you say or the havoc that you cause. But he's winning. That's the main thing. So I think, it's you got to be, because I've had this conversation before. I spoke about my
really?
coach over the years. Like, what would it take? Like the McGregor sort of style,
Because
like,
that's what it is.
it is.
Let's just say he is Max's teammate this year, and just gets to carry that energy. Like the amount of eyeballs that would watch that.
Well, it was kind of, you got a taste of it. 2021 Lewis and Max was probably the closest maybe it's been to, got to Silverstone where one of them had to put the other one in a wall at 300 plus kilometers an hour. Not that he did it on purpose, but it had come to that point where they were going to
boiling
crash.
point. Yeah.
It was that they'd been so close so many times that one of these guys is going to end up in the wall. And it made that season, so,
Yeah.
so different to any really other season that there's been. Like, I think last year there was maybe a little bit of that, but yeah, to go into the last round tied on points, just winner takes all. So cool, man.
Dude.
So cool.
That
And the emotion, regardless of anybody's opinion on what they think was right about that weekend, to see, the emotion. What I think is incredible with Formula One is I was a reserve with Red Bull at that point. I wasn't racing. And I'd been going and I'd started my sort of simulator work with the team, development work with Formula One stuff. So I'd started getting a taste of F1 stuff, and I'd go into the factory through that year. And towards the end of the year, I could feel the intensity within the entire team. And we're talking thousands of people. These guys who go to work every single day to work for an F1 team, but they are invested. These guys are all and it's like an unspoken thing. What's going to happen? We get the last 2 races of the year. How's it going to go? And then you see the last lap. You see like the cameras on the pit wall with Christian, with the team, and just the emotion. It's incredible to see somebody that's not in the car but feeling. To have that many people feeling that level of emotion. Everybody, thousands of guys working and girls working to make this car go as fast as you can. And I'm lucky enough to get to drive one of those cars.
Man, it is a very, and it's why we all love sport, right? Because so much goes into it. When I filmed the thing with Cole last year, it was before Colorado, so it was a round before him and Deegan came together.
Yeah.
But so that was 2 rounds to go, and this is one of the coolest things that I've ever seen in sport, right? So I've known Cooper Webb since he was 14.
Wow.
So we go way, way back, right? He's in the middle of trying to win this championship. He hasn't won it in 4 years, right? Dude, motherfucker didn't even look at me for 3 days that I was there.
Wow.
Just looked through me, bro.
Yeah.
And then at the last day, like when his work was done before he flew out, I saw him walking out of the locker room. He's like, dude, gave me a big hug. But
all of a sudden saw you.
Like he saw me the whole time, but he just looked through me. Because of the headspace that he had to occupy to win that championship. Like how deep he had to take himself. He was just looked through a friend of 15 years.
But at least you are aware enough to see the importance to know what this guy's feeling, because
I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, and this is the thing, is a lot of people don't, and I've had it so many times where when fighting for a championship, and not in F1 but in junior categories, or even in F1, not fighting for a championship but fighting for my career.
Fighting for your life.
You're fighting for my life is what it feels like, and sort of the intensity, the mentality that you have, you piss people off because they think that you maybe don't care, but it's like you don't understand what, like, maybe this time what I'm going through right now, that, people just, maybe assume or think that you're not a nice person all of a sudden because of the way you're acting. But it's just that in this moment, this is, everything I've got right now. And to try and explain it to somebody is very, very tough, to try and explain when it means everything. But at least you can see that and actually think that it's quite cool, because obviously for him, he's, the only thing that he's thinking about is just, how do I win this championship?
Yeah, and I think that's another thing that the average fan that listens to this, like if there's F1 fans that listen to this that don't have context, even the level of like doubting who you can trust when you get to the position that you get to, like, and people might not even know that they don't have the right intentions towards you. People around you probably think they have your best intentions at heart, and even deciphering that and dealing with you don't text this person back for a month and then dealing with the things that come back, like the level of selfishness that you have to have and the space that you have to occupy to just survive the job that you guys do. People don't have context. And it's one of the things that, because I've been I started filming athletes in 2008 and just being around guys winning championships. Like when you're there to film, you're there on the day that no one's ever come and asking you to film the shit days, But it's like when you really see over years what you guys have to deal with on just a personal level. Who can you trust? Who in the team can you trust? Who is there? Who's like giving you a weird vibe, but you kind of like, you're in pretty deep with this dude, that's a fucking minefield.
It is.
That nobody talks about and nobody can prepare you for.
That's exactly right. You cannot prepare for that. You figure out on your own. You get in there and you're in the minefield and you're figuring out. You have so many people, and the higher you get, especially when you get to F1, and don't get me wrong, there are so many people around me that have my best interests at heart, and I know that. But trying to exactly decipher between the amount of people that all of a sudden want to be your friend and want to say they want to help you, but in reality, they don't
want to help them.
They want to help them. And trying to figure that out when you have zero preparation, you've never experienced that before. It's really hard. And to have the right people around you to help with that is really, really important, because we spend our whole lives preparing to drive these incredibly fast cars and drive them as fast as we can and prepare how to, technically understand the cars and train our bodies to be able to drive these cars. Yeah. You don't spend time figuring, training to read a person and understand, what they're thinking and whether they actually care about you or they care about them more. And it's just, when there's that many people involved, it's unfortunately how it is. But that is something that is, you're sort of thrown into it, and you just have to deal, and figure it out, I guess on your own.
Oh, and just, it's in real time. You've got all of these things coming at you. You have to say yes to some of them.
Yeah.
And you have to, like it's crazy. And for people that haven't been in the situation, man, it's just like, and then the people that are there when it's up, and then everyone's gone when it's down. But then that's the time that you're by yourself, and that you need people the most. And it's just a roller coaster.
And then you've coming from a terrible week and terrible race, but there's somebody there that's either really important and no part of you is happy, but you have to show that you're happy almost. And like, it's that, trying to put that sort of face on that's the bit that that's the bit you don't prepare for when going into probably any sport, but at least in Formula One when there's just that many people and that, how big it is. You're terrified of saying the wrong thing all the time as well. Like I'm just terrified of, I think because I know how easily it is to go wrong in that department. I know how, I guess maybe I was lucky again, going back to that first, year, with those first races to experience making a mistake, maybe that blew up like it did. And then I was like, wow, okay, got to be really careful here. And so you're just trying to do the right thing all the time.
Yeah, always on edge. I am one of the people lucky enough to say that motorcycles has given me everything. This is my dad, Pete. Like so many of you watching, I was given this love of two wheels by my father. My job has taken me to the other side of the world, which means riding together has become a much tougher task. This is where Destination Yamaha comes in. I flew Pete to the US for the last round of Supercross in Salt Lake City and told him to pack a helmet. I logged on to DestinationYamaha.com, picked the state and the type of bikes we wanted to ride, and landed on a 2-day trip with Grit Moto Adventures on the T700. This is the ultimate arrive and ride experience, and we spent 2 days riding hundreds of miles in the Utah backcountry.
It is unreal, amazing, beautiful part of the world.
Winding dirt roads, through picturesque national parks, challenging climbs, and after over 50 years on two wheels, Pete finally got to ride through snow. These 2 days riding gave us more two-wheel memories that we'll never forget. They say it's about the journey, not the destination. And there is truth to that. But in this case, it was also about the destination. Destination Yamaha. So we'll wrap it up. 2026, new car, new regulations, fresh start.
It's, at the end of the day, it's an opportunity for everybody. I came in last year to the end of a regulation period. The car's been fully developed over 5 years. It's sort of, the car is what it is. This is how you drive it, is sort of whereas you come in this year, new cars, we have no idea. So, for us, we have an opportunity to be a part of that development a bit more and maybe make it a bit more comfortable for us. And there's a lot more. And
you're the most experienced driver on the team now.
Somehow, yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm an experienced. I'm an experienced guy now. And
you're the veteran of the team, Liam.
I'm the vet. So it's
we're all looking at you, buddy.
And I'm like, well, yeah, it's very, very new. Like I did Barcelona, the test so far, preseason test, and it's everybody's figuring out their way. I think the main thing is when you have new cars like this is reliability. Trying to make a car that lasts, a race, multiple races on an engine can be really, really tough. So that's like the first thing, having a car that survives the race, and then trying to build a fast race car. And this year, with the way the power unit is, it's very, very different to drive. So it's going to be, for people watching, it's going to be very, very different to see. There's a lot more management going on behind the wheel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on the battery side to try and it's very, very sensitive to sort of how much energy you're using and then how much you're harvesting and regenerating as well. This is a balance basically that it's very punishing if you get it wrong. So you'll see, I think through the year, you'll probably see a lot of maybe overtakes and stuff like that, not because maybe somebody's faster, but because they just messed up their battery usage or something like that. It can be very, very punishing. So the cars have less downforce, a lot more sliding around at the moment. It's going to be interesting. But when you are deploying and you're not, because in reality at the moment, I don't think we're really like on a main straight of a track like Barcelona, you have the full front straight.
Yeah.
The quickest way is not really going to be, you know, if you use all your energy before turn one, you're not going to have much for the rest of the lap. You're going to be fighting with it a little bit. So you sort of save a little bit. You're actually lifting off, even in qualifying at the moment, we're sort of saving a bit before turn one. But there was a lap where I just had it in the wrong setting. And I used my entire battery before turn one, and the speed, like I was doing like 350 just by myself, no slipstream.
That's unreal.
And I missed the corner completely. I brake where I normally brake and just fired it off the end of the straight.
No way.
Yeah, just it was so like the difference between getting it right and wrong is there's a lot more control.
Is it exciting? Okay, perfect world going into 2026. Stay in the old car, keep the old regs, and just keep trucking? Or do you see an opportunity in this?
No, I see an opportunity in this. I think there's two sides to it. The thing with last year is at the end of a regulation period, everybody's very much fully developed. So we'll have upgrades through the year this year that will be maybe an upgrade might be even a tenth or 2/10, which is big. Last year, we'd get to the point where it would bring an upgrade to a race and it would be a couple of hundredths of a second, if that. You know, it's very, very small because we've just developed everything to the highest point, you know, with the way the regulations are. That's really, we're extracting everything. So all the teams are close. I think Abu Dhabi Q2, there was like 7 of us within 1/10 of a second. It was insane. And like different teams, different cars that have built a car completely differently to the next team, but they are so close, performing at such a high level that they're within the 1/10 of a second with different drivers on it, you know. So that will be probably different this year because of a new regulation. There will be bigger splits. So that part of it I'm probably not as excited for, but yeah, the opportunity to be a part of developing a new car and try and do it quicker than somebody else or do a better job than somebody else is cool because it means we have a bit more say.
And you're a guy that does have good feedback from everything that I hear.
I mean, everybody's going to say that they've got good feedback, but I think
other people say it about you.
Yeah, I mean, it's at the end of the day, like I'm lucky that I've driven a lot of stuff. So I think there's like a level of maybe adapting there that just from driving random stuff over the years, and I'm always driving, trying to do different stuff as well. Like I'm riding a dirt bike at the moment. I drove a WRC car in Monaco a couple of weeks ago, which was just
and
crazy.
You did Goodwood too.
Yeah, last year. And
dude, it's funny. So that's the perfect, you know how you were saying, this guy's shit. So you're not having the best season at this point, and then you go to Goodwood, and then they put you in this WRC car, and it's like, Jesus Christ, Liam Lawson can wheel or what? Because that was actually insane to watch.
And I tried really hard.
You did.
I tried so hard. Like I'd thought about it for a long time, and just
Should I send it?
Honestly, it's one of those things you can't help it. Similar to riding a dirt bike. Like I try and have control, but there's a certain level there where you're once you're away, your moment takes over. And I had such a good time, but yeah, I remember thinking about it for a long time, and then going there, and Josh took me first in the car, and I thought I was ready for it, and then I went as a passenger, and I was just like, oh my God, dude, I don't even know if I'm like Red Bull have organized this whole thing, you know, because I said I could do it. I'm like,
because of course you can.
But I'm like, dude, can I do it? Like, I don't actually this, and I get out of the car and I'm like, I must have been quite pale and stuff because like these guys from, you know, Toby from Red Bull, he's like, dude, you're good. You know, you, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. Like, get in the car, and I just remember sitting there being like, well, you know, like at the end of the day, I know that there's a certain level there where when I'm driving something, the feeling's going to take over anyway, and I just sort of trust myself a little bit, and so I'm there not feeling ready, but I let go of the handbrake and start going.
I believe they call that arrogance.
Probably it is. Honestly, it's a level of arrogance there where I'm just like, I'll just get it.
That's the perfect level of arrogance, though.
And like this, you know, Monaco a week ago or a couple of weeks ago, again, I didn't know what I was. I'm really unprepared when it comes to this stuff, and I go there and I didn't even have a race suit, so I just went in t-shirt and jeans in this WRC car, and like one of my passengers, I was taking passengers, and one of my passengers had a suit, I think, and I was in my t-shirt and jeans. And like, there's like a couple of corners where you have to use a handbrake to get around because that's so tight. And I've never really done that. So I was just like, again, I just have no idea. So I'll just, about that much. and then you kind of do it and you get used to it, but it's just the first time is always a bit, you just got to trust a little bit. But I love doing all these different things and trying to drive all these different things. So, and I've done it, I did DTM a couple of years ago as well, and just driven loads of stuff. So I think that probably helps a little bit when you're feeling stuff about the car. Starting driving cars very young. Driving cars that, a lot of kids now will go from karts, F4, straight wings and slicks, paddle shift, left foot braking. It's crazy.
A lot of time in the sim.
Yeah, and for me it was karts, Formula first, H-pad and gearbox, 3 pedals, Formula Ford, H-pad and gearbox, dog box, you could flat shift, but still a bit of heel and toe, clutch pedal, then F4. And so I drove like lots of different stuff, cars that moved around, that didn't have aero, that, and I think that's probably helped a lot.
Yeah. Well, mate, this was unreal. Crushed almost 3 hours.
Thank you very much. It's
Goes
been,
quick, eh?
Wait. Now I kind of wish I came an hour earlier, but
It's a vortex, this thing.
You're
at Disneyland. Happiest place on earth.
It was pretty happy. I won't lie. I love Disney. Like cars is like for me.
Big cars guy.
I mean, it's a big part of my childhood, honestly. And so Cars Land they have there is incredible, dude. I don't know if have you been to Cars Land?
I've never watched Cars.
That's insane. That's insane. Before
we had this convo literally last night.
Before I see you next time, I'm
No,
going
you
out
know
tomorrow,
what?
but like,
I'm waiting to have a kid.
really?
Yeah, because I never watch it. So I'm just gonna wait. And I'm gonna watch it with my kid for the first time.
I can't wait.
Don't know
for
when
that
that's
day.
gonna be. I'll text you.
Yeah,
be like, this
text me.
movie was pretty fucking good, bro.
Yeah,
It was
you
worth the
will.
wait.
I promise you.
We literally had this conversation yesterday because he loves cars.
Dude, it's
we're at
the
my mate's
greatest.
5-year-old's birthday. He had his Lightning McQueen car. Know the characters, just never seen the movie.
I took a photo with him today with Lightning at Cars Land. It was sick, dude.
unreal.
In fact, I had to bribe the guy because the queue was over and they were like, no more photos. I'm like, mate, you don't understand. This guy it's really important for me to do this. And this guy's looking at me like, you're a fucking weirdo, bro. But if you want to take a photo with him, go and take a photo.
How much was the bribe?
I just convinced him.
Oh, so you didn't pay him.
No, I didn't pay him.
though.
I was pretty prepared, bro, honestly. he comes out like every hour or so and I wasn't going to get to see him again. So, yeah.
That is unreal. Show me the photo. Have you got it?
Oh, Hannah took it on her phone. I don't think I've got it on this.
I need to see it.
I got one from last time I was there, but I took a video of him. That's him driving off, but this kid ruined my video. And this kid walked in my video again. Oh no, I stopped it because he was going to walk in there. But yeah, this is
that's
this Cars Land, dude. It's so cool. You walk around. Yeah,
I love that. Well, dude, this was unreal.
it was sick. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for doing it. We'll have a bit of a ride tomorrow. We'll have a very safe. Can we say that on here?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we'll have a ride. Glen Helen, you're going to get me back out there.
Yeah, I'm excited. Vet track.
Nice
Nice and
250.
smooth. Yeah.
Going to be on the good suspension. Got some good shit there for you. You got good stuff on your bike at home.
Well,
you said?
Robert's going to bring his bike out as well,
Oh,
and he's
sick.
got
What's
his
he ride?
KTM 250.
Oh, perfect.
And he's got good shit. It's like full titanium everything on the bike, so it's
Yeah, he's
actually
full
quite
of
light.
rider.
He's good, man. He's
He
actually
rides good too.
he's way better than me. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's
Are
he's raced his whole life, so he's good.
Have you ridden the big track at Glen Helen yet?
No, I
Yeah,
might
only
tomorrow
right.
though.
I was going to say,
If it's good in good condition, I would have done it last time, but it was like real rutted out. It wasn't very good.
just do the first turn.
Oh,
Big talent, dude.
Yeah, Talladega,
That's
cool.
our Daytona.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's our...
No, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it.
Bro, it's the coolest. I'll show you a video, but I rode... Have you ridden a Stark yet?
No. Are you going to bring it? Or?
I'll bring one out. I'll charge... it's got the Dunlop guy. I'll text the Dunlop guy and I'll see if he's going to be at the track. Because if he's there, I'll get a new tyre put on it. But 80 horsepower, a race... You know how Santa did that race? So like 2 days before the race, the dudes at Stark were like, bro, we got your bike if you want to race it. And I'm like, fuck it. I put on a scoop tire, put this thing in 80 horsepower, bro. And McGrath was the start before me. And so he started like 3 gates to the inside, which like you kind of can't even really see the first turn. And I was like, fuck it. The king started there. That's where I'm going to start. So I lined up in McGrath's gate after he just got a whole shot, dude. Never done a start on this bike and just pulled the biggest whole shot on this thing.
Yeah.
Got past by probably 26 riders on the first lap, dude. I shit myself.
But that's the thing, they are so fast. Like I play MX bikes, which Cole plays a lot as well, but like
Hey,
I'm massive.
I knew I liked
dude,
this
and I tell you
guy.
what, I'm pretty fucking good at it, man.
Really?
Like I play this game more than any other game. Like
No
because I do
shit.
so much dude, I'm gonna fucking keep talking. Because I do so much sim driving, like it's got to the point where I like when I go home, do I really want to sit in my simulator and drive even more simulator, or do I want to sit and play MX bikes? And so like I play a lot of it, and yeah, like I'm not good enough to race. Like I couldn't race. Like a lot of the supercross tracks are pretty hard to race, but like most of the like basic tracks and stuff like that. Like, do you play it?
No, he does. What were you pretty much like one of the best in the world at one point in MX Simulator?
Ah, man, I used to play
He
that
got
as well.
good.
That game is
COVID.
MX Sim is fucked, dude. That game is so hard. Like MX Bikes just is a bit.
Yeah, bikes is different. Yeah.
Yeah, bikes is a lot. I feel like it's a lot easier. But like, do you play it now? Yeah. Yeah, I love it, dude.
I've literally never played it. I've never
it's
played.
fucking hard, bro. It'd take 100 hours to get half decent.
I never had a PlayStation. I never did video
crazy.
games. Never watched cars. Never did PlayStation. My wife is like a full blown gamer, dude. She's like she plays like the fantasy, like Elden Ring.
Yeah,
Dark,
yeah.
The crazy shit.
Wow.
Bro, she's like a completionist. So she'll play this game and get literally every trophy, every ending. That's just her thing. So she picks the hardest game in the world and then gets all of the trophies. You know, on the PlayStation where it shows up like 0.01% of players got this. So that's like,
It's so time consuming.
oh,
That's
dude,
the
yeah,
great-
she's a savage, bro. I wanted to start doing YouTube because then she'd make more money than me. But yeah, so anyway, I've never done the video game thing.
Yeah, I've always just been the sort of simulate. I played COD, but most of the stuff I've done has just been like MX bikes or iRacing or sim stuff. I got pretty into COD when it was like COVID, but
I got a sim rig in COVID, and I spent like 14 hours driving around Spa on the first day that I got it. And then I think I had depression for like 4 days because like the dopamine, dude, of just, I spent so much time. And after that, it just kind of, I was like, you know what? I don't know if this is good for me.
yeah, that's the thing. And it is so time. When you do races and stuff like that, you got to test for them. And it's like fucking racing in real life. So it's just, yeah.
I love it. All right, let's go. You gotta go.
Thank you.
This was awesome.
It was sick.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.